hot comic book movie news. Defenders of the Earth. Defenders. The Weekly Planet. The Weekly Planet.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of The Weekly Planet, where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. My name is James, also known as Mr. Sunday, and with me always for the first podcast of the new year is my co-host, Nick Mason, loving that new theme song.
I'm loving it. We're back, and 2023, new year, new us, and some people might say, 2023, start afresh, for people who want to get into podcasts. But I say no, add an impenetrable layer to the podcast.
Correct.
Of just an inside joke.
Yep.
That people who haven't been listening for literally years will not.
And they'll go to a Reddit page and they'll say, what's the deal with this? And it'll just be all joke answers.
And then they'll leave. And that's what we want. New listeners leave.
I think, though, that is more penetrable than the previous theme song, though, I feel, which was also penetrable in its own way. Yeah. Anyway.
Is that the correct usage of that word? Is that even a word?
Mason, yes. And it was a great joke.
Anyway, we're back. It's great to be back. Impenetrable in jokes, barely sketched out characters.
Yep.
What is 2023 going to bring? We don't know.
Oh, Mason, that's what this episode's all about. Do you know
right.
why?
Why?
Because we're going to be listing all the movies and TV shows that are probably coming out this year that we are excited for.
Yeah.
But before that, of course, we've got a big news
I'll head you off
catch-up.
at the pass there, James. I'm excited for all of them.
Wow.
I love all of them. I'm going to love all of them.
Oh, wow, that's really exciting. You're also going to love all the news for this week?
Yeah, probably.
Collins, who edits this, he's back for some reason. We appreciate it, though.
He said he's staying for the impenetrable inside jokes.
Okay, good. He puts the time...
In lieu of any money.
Of course. He puts the time codes below for also the topics we're going to be catching up on. We're going to talk about some stuff that's going down at DC, including what's going on with Jason Momoa and Superman. We're going to be talking Francis Ford Coppola's latest passion project.
Megalopolis.
Which that's a whole situation. We're going to talk about how Michael Bay didn't kill a pigeon. We're going to talk about how Avatar is still a big movie. We're going to talk about the Tron franchise, then some trailer stuff. A quick update on what did Netflix cancel while we were away, and how Jeremy Renner was in a terrible accident. Now, there's some other things that we're also going to talk about later in the episode after we talk about the 2023 stuff from the Facebook group, where it was just like, threw it open. Is there anything you want us to touch on that we would have missed for this month?
And here's a little bit of housekeeping.
You got some
James.
one bit of news?
Well, I was just going to mention, for people who don't know, perhaps new listeners that haven't been turned off by thus far the multiple layers of impenetrable in jokes, you, of course, get a fresh you get a fresh handful of vetoes.
Fresh trilogy of vetoes. I get
exactly
3 for the year.
Exactly.
Which means I can veto any or riffs that either of us are doing.
Yes. I think you might have vetoed one of your own last year. Yeah. And how it works is if one of us is going off on a tangent that is too long, some might say improving the show, but some might say ruining the show. And honestly, I don't know which one it is most of the time.
Yep.
You're allowed to veto it, and I just have to stop talking. Or you have to stop talking.
Yeah, whichever it ends up being.
And a further note to that we developed over the last year is, of course, that if I don't bring one bit of news for 3 weeks, not consecutively, just 3 weeks combined, you get an additional veto.
Correct.
Yeah.
And back to square one.
Exactly, that's right. How many can he get this year is the question. But here's one bit of news. Are you familiar with any of the Dungeons and Dragons drama that happened
that
this
was
year?
one of the things we were going to talk about later, but let's do it now.
Too bad.
Yeah, so we actually got I just want to see who I've got this from.
Please.
We got it a number of times, but Niels wrote in about that.
He got it in first.
He said everything going down with Dungeons and Dragons. And he said it is legit interesting, and Mason has talked about D&D before. I was hoping you could answer this because I saw bits and pieces. And of course, we're getting a big Dungeons and Dragons movie this year.
Well, we're going to talk about that. So I think we talked about in previous weeks, probably in relation to the Dungeons and Dragons movie, that apparently in internal emails with Wizards of the Coast and who run Dungeons and Dragons, who are owned by Hasbro, they have said there was some internal emails that suggested that we need to do more monetization of Dungeons and Dragons and how we're going to make that happen. Because, of course, if you play the tabletop game, it's more a case of just like if you have the source books, you can
even print off a PDF
or
do it off
PDF.
an iPad.
You can just remember it. I'm sure there are Dungeons and Dragons games out there, like Dungeons and Dragons veterans, who can just remember every stat off the top of their head.
And that is the beauty of it. It's like it's basically some books and dice and some imagination, Mason. But they don't want that, do they?
No.
Big D&D.
No, exactly. So, like, Yeah, so prior to this, we had 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, and the new version they're working on is called 1D&D, and a lot of people are like, "What are they going to do with this? What are they going to do?" You know, and there's like there is some like subscription services you can get if you wanted like virtual dungeon environments, and if you want like mapping software and all this sort of stuff.
I think all that's great if you're making something additional. Yeah, definitely have a paywall is what I'm saying.
So for literally years, for like decades, Dungeons & Dragons has had what's called an open game license. And it's basically third-party companies can create modules like adventures and monsters and, unofficial content, and they don't have to pay a licensing fee.
Yeah.
But basically what happened is IO9 discovered a leaked draft of this new version of the OGL 1.1, and it basically placed a bunch of restrictions on the third-party content and required companies to pay Wizards of the Coast 25% royalties if they reach a certain amount of revenue.
Yep.
And a lot of people were like, "I'm done with this. I'm done with this thing that was ordinarily free for a lot of people." And a lot of people have based their entire companies based
Absolutely.
around,
I know there's a number of YouTube channels and podcasts, like Sandspans for one, like do D&D related stuff like all the time. Yeah.
And and for a lot of, for I would say for most people who do this sort of stuff, that particular thing wouldn't affect you.
No.
Because you don't, it's something like $750,000. If you make $750,000 plus, they'll take 25% of your revenue. But there was a bunch of other stuff like in this OGL, it's like, okay, if you make a third party D&D anything and it's on their radar, they can just use it if they want.
Yes,
They
absolutely.
can just be like, "Oh, these characters are ours now." You can still make them, but
do you think this has something to do with the movie coming out this year? And they've already taken a run at it, but this new one's got like Chris Pine and Michelle Rodriguez and a bunch of other Justice Smith and a bunch of other people in it.
Yeah.
And they're pushing it to be like a big adventure film that's hopefully going to make $1 billion for them. And
it won't.
Well, it could.
It could, but
and then it drives people to the game.
I think I've mentioned
and
this
to monetization.
I think I've mentioned this before, but whenever I go to the movie, in the last 3 or 4 times I've gone to the movies, I've seen the Honor Among Thieves trailer, but they've cut it down. They've cut it down to like 30 seconds.
Oh.
And they've taken all the jokes out and they've ruined the pacing of it. And every time I watch the trailer, I see people in the audience go, "Ugh."
Yeah, do you think that's because there was that initial backlash of like, well, this is silly. But if you ever play Dungeons and Dragons, it's silly.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe.
It gets silly very
The best
quickly.
part of that trailer,
depending who you're with, obviously.
The best part of the trailer is we see, charismatic leading man Chris Pine, and they're like, "You're bad at this." But like every character's like, "You suck at this," and then he does a little leap at the end. He does a little loot, a little flying V guitar leap, but he's on a little loot. That's a bit fun. But anyway, this was on Reddit. I don't know if this is true, but why not start the year with rampant speculation?
Agreed.
It might all be lies. But apparently Hasbro really needs Honor Among Thieves to work out for them because they have to convince the shareholders that this is a worthwhile thing.
Dungeons and Dragons or their movie division?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay, right. Yeah.
Okay, this is
I mean, they already did Battleship.
This is from an investor on Reddit called Super Fun Pop.
Okay.
The motivations behind Wizards changes are 100% influenced by Hasbro, and I'll tell you why. Hasbro was confronted by an activist investor, which is an owner of like a lot of shares in Hasbro.
Sure.
Who was very outspoken, wanting changes. They wanted to spin off Wizards of the Coast into a second company. Without getting too deep into this part, what would this mean is that Wizards of the Coast would no longer contribute to the value of Hasbro and would be its own stock. This would lead to Hasbro's stock becoming discounted because Wizards of the Coast make up roughly 70% of Hasbro's value.
Right.
But a lot of the investors are like, "Oh, Hasbro, it's Transformers."
Yeah.
But apparently there's so much more money in Wizards of the Coast because they did Magic the Gathering.
Sure,
and they did Dungeons and Dragons and that sort of stuff. Hasbro had a public fight for control with this activist investor in June of 2022. This means Wizards is still owned by Hasbro, but has a big consequence. Before 2022, Hasbro shareholders had no idea what Wizards of the Coast, D&D, or Magic the Gathering was. Shareholders only knew about Transformers, Monopoly, and Peppa Pig.
Isn't that wild? If it's 70% and they're just like, what's this?
Yeah, they thought Hasbro's money came from toys, TV, and movies.
Which, by the way, if you look at, I've got a list of their movies that they've made here.
Yeah.
And aside from the Transformers, that is not the case because it's Clue, the Power Rangers movies, and there's been a few. There's the first Dungeons and Dragons movie and then the direct-to-DVD spin-off. A bunch of couple of G.I. Joe movies that didn't do super well. Battleship, Ouija, Gem and the Holograms, another Power Rangers movie, and then Snake Eyes. So like these
We're gonna
aren't.
get to that. This is the year of us reviewing Snake Eyes.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But this is what they've got coming up. More G.I. Joe movies, Beyblade, Monopoly, Hacker Camp, Action Man, Clue, Furby, Untitled Transformers Optimus film, Play-Doh movie, Rom the Space Knight, Mask, another Power Rangers movie, another Untitled G.I. Joe spin-off.
Right.
Yeah, anyway, sorry, go on.
So Hasbro has to prove to the shareholders that it continues to make Wizards of the Coast profitable. If it can't prove it, the big investors will come in and talk about spinning it off again.
Right.
So Hasbro will suddenly just lose this huge thing. So Hasbro has to deliver with honor among thieves, otherwise it's going to look very bad. Shareholders are going to be peed off.
But again, shouldn't they be happy that it's already doing well outside of this movie that's going to make $1 billion?
Great question. Well, I think the idea would be that they want to spin off Wizards of the Coast because the rest of it, the remaining 30%, is kind of dead weight.
Right, okay.
Yeah, anyway. Hasbro's been telling shareholders for a year that Wizards can't operate on their own, and the only reason Wizards is making money is because Hasbro's overseeing it. Hasbro has to put their money where their mouth is and dig into the trenches with Wizards to prove they're valuable. Otherwise, shareholders can force Hasbro to spin off from Wizards. So basically, Honor Among Thieves has to do really, really well.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they'll be like, why are you controlling this? You don't know what you're doing kind of thing. So
Great.
yeah, really good.
This is going to be a good year for D&D.
think
For
so.
us, it's going to be
Yeah,
very
yeah, yeah.
entertaining no matter what happens.
Yeah, but I mean, basically, like this new OGL for Dungeons and Dragons is super unpopular.
Yeah.
and it's gonna it also seems to be retroactive, so they can take if you made old D&D modules back in the day,
They can just
be
dip into that,
Oh,
can
we like
they?
those. We'll have those.
This because I know this has been a thing with the modding community will make things for video games and
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
and then they'll just straight steal that or
Yeah.
shut it down.
Yeah.
You know, like Nintendo were doing a thing for a time where they just demonetize or take the money from any YouTube video that did reviews or anything related to Nintendo content.
Yeah.
This way of thinking is it's destructive. And they
Yeah.
don't seem to be aware of that.
But anyway, huge backlash, and then Wizards basically were like, "Yes, this is true. Like this draft is real.
Oh, okay.
But we're taking a bunch of it out now."
Yeah.
So the backlash
Because
worked.
you
apparently.
caught us.
Yeah, you got us. So they're like, we wanted to shut down people making blockchain games and NFTs. The new OGL will not contain any of the controversial provisions of the draft, including the royalty structure, the back license agreement, or the deauthorization of previous OGL versions.
Right.
Wizards went further to say that it and the community won because it always planned to solicit the input of the community before any update.
Disagree.
Yeah, I disagree. They're big lies. The thing that you mentioned, I think, earlier, the G.I. Joe stuff, we also saw this week.
Yeah.
Channing Tatum took a lie detector test. Did you see that?
I didn't know.
And he on YouTube, not
Yeah.
for crime purposes.
Oh, okay, cool.
But he confirmed the rumor that
They made him do it.
they made him do the. He turned down G.I. Joe 7 times, the first G.I. Joe 7 times.
Yeah.
But the movie studio had an option on him, which meant he had to do a movie at some point, and he's just like, whatever.
Yeah.
This will do, I guess. And then he requested to be killed in the first 10 minutes of the second one.
And he was.
And he was.
Good movies all round,
yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Mason, should we do a little bit of DC news?
Let's do DC news.
First of all, you might have seen that James Gunn was reading All-Star Superman. It was just a bit of light reading for the morning, and people have speculated that there's this version of Superman he's going to make because obviously Henry Cavill's out. We talked about this to death last year. Are they going to be borrowing, this story, All-Star Superman? It's already been an animated movie in addition to a comic book. I don't know if you know
goodness.
that.
They make comic books now?
I
DC?
know.
Huh.
We're going to talk about Comixology later as well. But,
Okay.
but basically, I think that this is a tone more than because that's it's all these different narratives in the life of a very established Superman.
Yes.
And they're going for an early day Superman. So I think tonally, this is probably what they're looking to work with.
But narratively, probably
Yeah,
not.
because doesn't he die at the end or something? I can't remember.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
Or it's implied that he is.
Yeah. It's sort of he's like, this is the end for me. Well,
Yeah.
see you later. And
If you haven't read it, it's not a spoiler.
Yes.
I mean, I guess it is.
that's what happens at the end. But it's
not about that.
It's about the journey, not the
Yeah,
destination.
exactly. Anyway, if that's the case, I like that direction. And the other bit of news more recently also is that Jason Momoa, he left DC offices in a big woo. I don't know if you saw.
What does that mean?
He filmed himself leaving.
Oh,
He's
in a
like,
good way.
Woo, I'm the best and I'll never die.
Okay.
And he's like, I can't talk about what I'm doing, but big upcoming stuff for DC.
Huh.
He's Lobo, I think is what's happening. But he's also said that...
He also said, I'll never not be Aquaman.
Yeah,
and I'll
so-
also be every other character. Don't even worry about it.
I think you can be both.
We're bringing in my oil baron character from that show where I was an oil baron or something.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm bringing in the character where I'm blind.
Oily Jason.
Oily Jason.
We're bringing in oily Jason and blind Jason.
Blind Jason. You got to bring in blind
Maybe
Jason.
he was a fur trapper or something.
Yeah, I know
Maybe
the one
he's
you're
not
talking
yeah,
about. Yeah. Great stuff.
It is great stuff.
You can be Lobo and Aquaman, right? The makeup alone would be
fine,
like
yeah.
different voice. It's
Exactly,
fine.
yeah. I think that's fine. It also reminded me that Lobo was on that TV series Krypton. Do you remember that?
Yes, he was. I liked Krypton. I watched the first season. I didn't mind it at all. Yeah. Did you watch much of that?
A little bit, but I did catch up with little clips on YouTube and stuff like that. The actor who plays him is not like huge. He's not Momoa huge, but I think he's
Little Lobo.
He's a little.
Remember Little Lobo?
I do
in
remember they
New
revamped
52?
him as Little Lobo, yeah, and I think that was probably what he was based on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Like he had that, he was bizarre and chaotic and kind of he could regenerate from like a severed arm.
Which is the comic where Lobo turns up and fights new Superman? I can't. Do you remember the one where it's like early days? It was also recently in a movie where he's got that he wears the goggles. It was in an animated movie.
Superman wears the goggles.
Yeah, he wears like goggles and like a kind of flight suit outfit.
I don't remember that
Yeah,
at all.
So I wonder if it's like that will be his introduction, maybe in a Superman movie, because they have a little biff, because he's an intergalactic bounty hunter.
That's
and
true,
et cetera. Yeah. Anyway, there you go. Or I made all that up. And the other thing is James Gunn said that
Superman with goggles. Can you imagine? Why would he need
ridiculous.
goggles?
He wouldn't. Well, the early days, he doesn't know.
That's true. Maybe I need goggles.
You don't need goggles, idiot. Okay, thanks. James Gunn said he'd work with all of the cast of Guardians of the Galaxy over at DC, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get more of those characters and not characters, just actors.
Well, they're all characters, aren't they?
They certainly are, Mason, bleeding over after his time at Marvel is done, which it will be soon. Mason, this is via THR. Megalopolis, you familiar with this?
Not really.
So this is Francis Ford Coppola's passion project. He hasn't directed in about 10 years, and the last one was kind of like just a minor kind of movie.
And he's
kind of
providing
went
a
under
lot
the
of
rug.
financing to it, I believe. Something like $100+ million of his own money.
Well, as the article says, he's breaking the cardinal rule of movie making and spending his own money, which is $120 million. But he says, I couldn't care less about the financial impact whatsoever.
You know who probably does his kids.
Yeah,
his
probably.
grandkids.
Yeah, it means nothing to me.
Wow.
So, yes.
You know what? His attitude's been buoyed up by James Cameron, I think, probably. He's seen James Cameron in the press for the last few months being like, I'm the best and I don't care and I'm rich and I'll do what I want.
But James Cameron he didn't pay for Avatar.
No, that's true, yeah.
So it's easy to have that kind of bluster when it's not your money,
That's
I feel.
very true, yeah.
But anyway, for those who don't know, Francis Ford Coppola is now 83 years old, which good on him. That's a great age to be. Not for me, I would hate that, but good for him. This says the film centers on an architect who seeks to rebuild New York as a utopia after a disaster. It stars, among others, Adam Driver, Forrest Whitaker, Lawrence Fishburne, Talia Shire, who I haven't seen in years because they killed her off in the Rocky franchise. She's Adrian. And to move Rocky's story forward, they just his wife's dead. It is sad.
Yeah.
And then Mickey's dead.
So they just could have had her in flashback. They could have,
She's alive. She's alive in real life, Mason. Yeah. Anyway, so it's halfway through development at the moment. And apparently the budget has I love something like this. Just a big blowout, like just an entertainment blockbuster disaster.
Okay.
Even if it comes good at the end, like that's also good. But I love this kind of stuff. We don't see this anymore.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
It feels very old Hollywood, doesn't it? Yeah.
The budget has expanded and the film is now about halfway through its 80 to 90 day shoot, but a production source says it's unclear whether production can go forward as is planned. This is from a few weeks ago, but there's been no updates as of yet.
Is there something to do with visual effects?
Yeah, so they lost its production designer Beth Mickle and supervising art director David Scott, who left. And between the firings and resignations, a source says the film now has no art department, and that's on top of losing the entire visual effects team in the first part of December. What they were initially doing was doing that Mandalorian volume style thing, where for those who don't know, it's just they stand in front of a big screen, and instead of using green screen, you film everything in camera. It's easier to film on the day, and if you do it right, it can be more cost effective, but sometimes it's cheaper and quicker to just throw up a green screen and fix all that later, which is now what they're doing, apparently. Bearing in mind that he has form for this before. Apocalypse Now was a disaster.
That's true.
And so much of a disaster, there's a movie about what a disaster that is.
That's a black mark on your record, isn't it?
But, I mean, it did well. You know, people love it and it did well.
Just every time you're like, man, I'm so proud of my work. I'm going to watch a little bit of it on streaming, and you put in Apocalypse Now. And then the first result over your own movie is like,
everybody did cocaine and we're trying to kill each other. Yeah. And also, we talked about this recently, but on Bram Stoker's Dracula, he fired the entire special effects team because he wanted to do everything in camera. And they were like, that isn't really possible. And so he just got his son to do it. And it's
It
great.
worked, yeah.
So somehow.
Yeah.
But this is, it's a different era, but maybe, who knows which way this is going to go. But I am fascinated.
His son is dreading the call. It's like, I don't know.
I built a big book.
I don't know if I can build a whole city. I don't know if I can reimagine New York City and make it better than it is already. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I love this. But anyway, good luck to him. Apparently he's using all his winery money as well.
Yeah.
He's richer than $120 million.
Sure.
I think when he says he doesn't care, I think he means like, I have more money.
Yeah.
He does. It's fine for him.
Yeah.
Anyways, Mason, Michael Bay didn't kill a pigeon. He wants you to know that. So filmmaker Michael Bay is facing charges in Italy related to the killing of a pigeon on the 2018 set of the Netflix blockbuster, our favorite movie, one of the best, Six Underground. Couldn't get through 5 minutes of it. Hated it. You've watched the whole thing, didn't you?
I don't know.
Yeah, I
See,
think
that's
you
the
did.
thing. I don't know. I can't remember how it ends.
Yeah.
But that's not proof that I didn't watch it.
Oh, Superman dies at the end.
Oh, no.
That's not a spoiler because that's not what the movie's about, though. Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds' character flies into the sun.
Yeah, that's right.
The end for me, or is it? Maybe I'll be born again somehow. I'm Ryan Reynolds.
There is a death fake out in that, isn't it?
I don't
their
know.
team are like, they're a team of like mercenaries who all are supposed to be dead or something.
I don't know. Oh, yeah, no, it is. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Because they think he flew into the sun.
Yeah, I'm happy that you remember some of the plot of that.
Thank you. This is from the Rat Via. They learned that this exclusively. So the pigeon.
Now we've got it.
I know.
Enjoy
Fools.
your exclusives while they last, the rap.
So I didn't know this.
You're in a house of cards, the rap.
I didn't know this because they're basically rats here. Pigeons are protected in the EU under the Birds Directive.
Maybe they're
'cause
different pigeons.
I think they're an introduced species here. I think that's the difference.
Yeah, okay, right. Why
Yeah.
would you introduce pigeons into Australia?
They introduced foxes. They introduced a bunch of shit. Remember they introduced
It's probably to get rid of cane
the cane toad? Yeah,
Probably.
and then they introduced the cane toad beetle. No, they introduced the cane toad beetle and then the cane toad to kill the cane toad beetle. But the cane toads can't get into the cane sugar stalks. So now there's just rampant cane toads in Australia. We've also got like hordes of camels roaming
yeah.
around up north. Camels aren't native here.
That's true.
Yeah. Anyways, according to an insider with knowledge of the production, a homing pigeon was allegedly killed by a dolly in the middle of a take in Rome. And an unnamed individual who happened to be on set or apparently witnessed the incident, and they took
It's Michael Bay. He did it. He done it.
took a picture.
Hey, aren't you a dolly camera operator? No, it's Michael Bay, though.
They took a picture and sent it to the Italian authorities.
Uh-oh.
Apparently, it had to do with a large group of pigeons and a wind machine. Now, Michael Bay's come out and said, I'm a well-known animal lover and a major animal activist. He said this via a statement to the Wrap, and no animal involved in the production was injured or harmed or any other production I've worked on for the past 30 years. He did nearly kill that woman on Transformers.
That's true.
Not him particular, but
That dolly operator did it.
yeah, that's right. But blamed it on Michael Bay. You remember that? Like the woman was
Yeah.
like, she got like $12 million for being like disabled for life.
We mentioned on one of the Transformers
Yeah.
videos, I think, yeah.
He said, I was offered by the Italian authorities a chance to settle this matter by paying a small fine, but I declined to do so as I would not plead guilty to harming an animal. So there you go. Good luck to all involved, except for the pigeon, which is obviously RIP.
What if this is the thing that finally brings him down? Like Al Capone and the IRS. It's not all his directing crimes that sent him to prison. It's that he refused to pay a fine for killing this pigeon. They're like, jail for life, Michael Bay. Sorry.
Does that mean in like 80 years we've got to open the Michael Bay vaults on live TV? There's just a stack of Zoo magazines or something.
Yes.
Look up Al Capone's vault if you don't know what that is.
It's just a stack of Loud Noises and Buildings Falling Down magazine.
Yeah.
That's the magazine he subscribes to.
What I think might...
They just describe the loud noises.
Yes. What I think might actually bring Michael Bay down is these big budget action movies that people don't see.
Yeah.
Because if you look at his track record recently out of Transformers, it's not great. You know, I mean, I know 6 Underground was Netflix. Ambulance went pretty much straight to streaming. Not straight away, but not hugely well received and not financially did super well. So I don't know. Or maybe it's the pigeon thing. I don't know. Anyways, Mason, James Cameron.
It could be a combination of things.
It could be.
Yeah.
James Cameron's Avatar is going to be the 6th biggest movie of all time, or it is now, sorry. Taking over Spider-Man No Way Home, topping $1.9 billion globally.
That apology was for James Cameron. I could feel it when you were like, this is going to be the... No, it is. Sorry, sir. Because you know he'll find this.
It's true. Though we never doubted it, did we?
That's true.
We never said that it... Luckily, we weren't one of those people that were like, boo.
Well, maybe I doubted a bit. I can't
Yeah, we
remember.
probably doubted it, but as we said, you can't rule out James Cameron.
I won't be doubting it again.
I don't think you did doubt it. I
Okay.
think you were like, yeah, we'll see.
I won't doubt it again. It wouldn't shock me if there is a slow decline now, but I
Yeah.
don't think there's any way that Avatar 3 won't,
Yeah.
crack $1 billion.
No,
it won't
absolutely
be.
not.
It won't be a.
I'd say
you
at
know,
least $1.5 billion.
Yeah, it won't be a sudden flop.
Especially with the fire Navi, the
that's right.
lava people or whatever. Big red Jake Sully turns up. Like we
Do you
were
think
hoping.
anybody's told him
That what?
that there's another franchise called Avatar where there's different groups of people and they all have nations and they all have
I
different
think,
elements behind them?
I mean, maybe not. I mean, they know because they had to change the name of their movie.
That's true. They did, yeah.
Now, it looks like though it could overtake Infinity War and then The Force Awakens next. I think also if it doesn't do it in this release, it will on multiple re-releases. Like Titanic is getting another re-release. And so that means it will probably eventually end up third as one of the biggest movies of all time. So it'll be Avatar 1, Endgame, Avatar 2, Titanic.
Wow.
So he's got 3 of the 4 top movies of all
Settle
time.
down, mate.
I will.
Not you.
I'm settling down. Oh, you love this. I've even written here,
No.
Mason,
Yes.
do you love the Tron franchise?
I like how you had to put my name in there, just like maybe you'll forget.
I'll forget. Do you love the Tron franchise?
Do people know that sometimes you call me Claire and Claire Mason?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Mason
Yes.
or Claire, do you love the Tron franchise?
I mean, I guess, but I suspect my love for Tron is going to decline very rapidly.
you love Tron Legacy?
I do love Tron Legacy. I think
Yeah.
it's really good. I think, and it's held up too, like special effects wise. And that's of
and
course,
the soundtrack and etc.
yeah. I mean, with the exception of the de-aged
Yeah.
Jeff Bridges, which hasn't held up that well.
But he's in a digital world, etc.
Right, but there's a
There's a bit at the start where he's
there's
not
a bit
in
at
the
the start where he's
digital
not in the digital world. They should have just do a little re-edit where he's in Shadow or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, look, it's still held up because they've built this incredible world.
Yeah.
And I think the soundtrack is the best thing Daft Punk has ever done.
Yep.
And they had a person whose name I forget who helped with the composing of that.
Yeah.
Also
the director of Top Gun Maverick.
Yes, I didn't even know that until
incredible.
maybe this week.
Yeah.
And he was on track to make
Tron 3.
Tron 3.
It was going to be like Cillian Murphy was going to be the villain.
because he's uncredited in
Yeah.
Tron Legacy. Yeah,
and a whole bunch of other stuff was going to happen.
they were going to bring back Dillinger and
Dillinger.
and the Master Control program from the first movie.
Is that the big face in the tube, the big Zordon face? It's like, no, don't leave Tron alone.
Yeah, that's
or
the
help
one.
Tron. I can't remember.
Don't help Tron. I'm so confused. I've only got 64 kilobytes of memory. I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
Don't pull out any floppy disks. I think one of them's my heart. Mason.
Now I'm going to destroy the world. And there's a pause. Please turn tape over. I can't destroy the world unless you turn the tape over, please.
Now, Mason, I also distinctly remember you saying that you believe that a third Tron movie would be amazing even if it starred anybody and had any director.
I didn't say any of these things. I said I heard they were going to reboot.
This is my deadline.
This isn't a sequel also, as far as I know, based on, unless you have new information there, the last time I heard about a sequel to Tron happening, it was like, we're going to reboot this again.
It seems
because
that
it's
way,
been
yeah.
too long, despite the fact that there was like 27 years between Tron and Tron Legacy. Also, I don't think it did well. I don't know.
No, it didn't. Anyway, so
But it's on Disney Plus, folks.
it is. You should watch it.
Yeah.
Not the first one. Oh, maybe. It's pretty fun. It's not great, though, is it? It kind of sucks. Anyways, Mason, Tron Ares is in the works from Disney, starring Jared Leto, directed by Joaquin Ronning. Now, you might be like, oh, Jared Leto sucks.
But maybe Joaquin Ronnings.
And I think it's possible, but these are the movies that maybe he's great, but these are the movies he's worked on. A Maleficent Mistress of Evil, which might be the second one.
Okay, great.
Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, which was the last one, which I didn't like either of those movies. And also Daft Punk has retired. That's not to say that this director couldn't do
Again, their
something
helmets
with
filled
this.
up with red wine residue and cigarette ash. They just couldn't do it anymore.
I understand that.
It was like drowning really slowly in a very French way.
I fucking hate this. I'm not even a big Tron guy.
I'm not even sure they'll keep the aesthetic.
Yeah.
Maybe they will because that's the only thing nailing all these together.
I think
but-
what that last one did so well was that it updated the aesthetic. It's a beautiful movie, and you'd think being a neon nightmare that it would be very unpleasant to watch.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's a beautiful looking movie. Garrett Hedlund, Olivia Wilde, etc. and so forth.
and so forth.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
What's his face? The guy.
The big face. Don't flip over
Michael
the
Sheen
floppy
is in
disk.
it.
He is too. He's like a David Bowie kind of dude.
Yeah.
He's booping and bopping.
I've got a computer nightclub, he says.
Throw the discs at each other.
Turn the tape over, please.
Turn the tape
if you want to
over.
keep dancing, you got to turn the tape over.
Anyway, but Mason,
Yes.
anything can be
Anything
good.
can be good, and we don't like.
It's more the reboot Jared Leto thing than anything else that bothers me. More so than the director.
I mean, Blade Runner 2049 was good, and he was in that.
I agree.
Does this
I mean,
say-
barely.
No, I know.
He's not
but
the lead in it.
Well, is he the lead in this?
Yes.
Do you know that for sure?
I don't know for sure, but he's the only name on it. So
Right.
I would say,
I mean,
yes.
maybe it's largely unknown casty, Garrett Hedlunds, etc.
Yeah.
And then Leto is the master control programmer. He's the guy in the back. He's the Wizard of Oz in the
Yeah,
background. Or
great.
whatever.
I mean, that would be slightly better.
it would, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
If we can get a change.org petition going on or
I
something.
would love that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like probably at the last minute they're going to, if they even make this,
Yeah.
they're going to like shoot some extra stuff at the end where you see like Olivia Wilde and Garrett, whatever his name is, at the end.
I said it 2 seconds ago.
Hedlund.
It's Garrett Hedlund. Thank you.
Headland. Because I feel like then people who liked the last one will be like, oh yeah, the same universe.
Yeah.
But it's not enough if that's what they're doing, which I don't know.
This must have had something to do with Garrett Hedlund.
He said
I'd say.
mustard. This mustard. This mustard. Did
This
Garrett
mustard is Garrett Hedlund's signature mustard. He must have been here. Let's find him, boys.
Let's trailers ahoy, Mason.
Ah.
Here comes the good ship trailer.
I was just going to say though, what do you think Ares is?
Ares is god of war.
Yeah. So what's?
Is that right?
Here's a question.
Depending on which
Here's the thought that
version?
I had. What if it's a Tron War Games crossover? Remember War Games?
I
from the
didn't like
80s?
war games.
Well, too bad. It was
Yeah.
a thing that happened, and now we're going to get a new one.
Great.
But yeah, the God of War. I wonder if this is the computer gains self-awareness and wants to activate all the
Wants
world's
to
nuclear
play God
warheads.
of War.
Wants to play God of War.
Yeah. Trailers ahoy, Mason? I'm not sure if you've seen this one because I didn't ask, but did you watch the trailer for Scream 6?
No.
Looks sick as hell, man.
But the controversial element that I'm aware of
Yeah.
is that apparently Ghostface uses a shotgun in this.
Yep.
Whereas, he's a knife guy, apparently. But didn't he kill a guy with a garage door in that first
yeah,
one?
he uses whatever. And in the first movie, when not to spoil it, but when Ghostfaces are unmasked, they're waving a gun around the kitchen, if you remember
Yeah.
correctly.
I do remember
I think this looks terrific, and I like this kind of this more savage Ghostface, the new kind of the New York setting. I like all the cast members from the last. I really like that last Scream movie. Did you watch it?
I didn't see it.
Yeah,
I think I got it ready to go.
you should watch them through. And it's got some like Hayden, what's her name?
Christensen.
No, she's from
Panettiere.
yes, she's back. She's from number 4.
Heroes.
From Heroes, and a bunch of other stuff going on here.
Speaking about pieces of entertainment that had no cultural impact.
Sure.
Remember Heroes?
I do. Do you remember Heroes Reborn?
No.
Zachary Levi was in it.
Oh, nice.
I think it was called Heroes Reborn. They rebooted
Yeah.
it, but it was in like 2016 where people were like, "We have movies now. We
Yeah,
don't,
right.
We don't want this."
we have people flying through the skies and shooting lasers at each other. We don't need people who are a bit strong, you know?
2015 to 2016. There you go. Anyway, just quickly back to Scream. There's talk of like, well, maybe because Neve Campbell's not in it, and apparently it's because of a pay dispute. She's like, well, look, if I was like a male lead in this huge franchise, you'd pay me a lot of money to come
true.
back, which is true. I feel, but then
Instead, you're feeding cash into the Ghostface mask. It's just falling through. It's just sitting on a shelf, and you keep just.
what are you doing?
It's not a vending machine.
What do you think's going to happen? Some people are saying that that's a fake out and that she's actually going to either be in it or be Ghostface.
Right.
Which I think would be weird if she's like, women aren't paid enough in Hollywood. Just kidding, I'm in the movie.
Yeah, this is a real. It was like when.
I mean, it's possible.
Was it when Vin Diesel and The Rock had that dispute, and we were like, oh, "This is probably an
bullshit.
issue for this is probably a fake thing that they're just playing it up wrestling style for the cameras or whatever." And then one of them was like, "I hate your kids and your wife. They're bad. I hate them. You're a bad dad, I think." And we're like, "Oh, this is probably
Right,
not
is this real?
fake." Yeah.
Anyways, I think it's one of the killers from the first movie who's back, whose fate is apparently sealed, but I think is back. Because there's like, you haven't seen the trailer, but there's like, they've got like a hall of ghost faces.
Oh,
It's like Batman's.
I
like-
saw that. No, I saw
yeah,
the still for that.
Like
yeah.
Batman's dead Robin room, but it's
Okay.
for all the ghost faces and all the victims.
Okay,
and
well,
whatever.
let's say minus spoilers for the first Scream movie,
Yeah.
because it's the only one I've seen.
Yeah, sure.
Starting now. So the killers were revealed to be
Billy.
and Scooby,
And Scooby-Doo,
Shaggy Doo.
Yeah. We will talk about Velma later.
So you
as
think
well.
one of them is still alive? Because did they both die at the
They-
end of the film?
the boyfriend got shot through the head, Skeet Ulrich, though he did reappear in the last movie. Not to say how.
Okay.
And
Hologram,
yep.
Hologram performing at the Grammys.
Hey, everybody. I'm the killer from First Scream. Thanks for bringing me back. Oh, look, it's Tupac. We're dancing together. And Matthew Lillard got a TV dropped on his face.
So he's not necessarily dead.
No, and here's the thing. For Scream 3, he was initially going to come back and be the one orchestrating all the murders from prison.
Right.
And then Columbine happened, so they changed it. He was also paid for that movie. They paid him for his role that he didn't end up doing.
Terrific.
But
Love that.
the official line from, I think, Kevin Williamson, who is in charge of all of these, is he's dead.
Right.
But it's just not true.
Yeah.
And if he's not in this one, he will be down the line.
Yeah, right.
Anyways.
Okay. Or it could be what was the reveal of Spiral?
Spyro the dragon.
No, not
he was
Spiral.
a dragon.
No.
Oh, Spiral.
From the Book of Saw.
Okay, we're going to there's a new Saw movie this year, by the way.
What?
Yeah, Jigsaw's back. For
Nice.
real. They got him back.
That's
He
great.
died like 15 movies ago. But
But who was the villain of Spiral? It was a cop who was
oh God, what was it? He was from The Handmaid's Tale. He had a fake family.
Yeah, right.
Maybe some corruption killed his father
Or something, yeah.
Or he wasn't Jigsaw's son, was he?
No, I don't think so. I think some corruption killed his family, but then Chris Rock was the only one that saved him or something.
And Chris Rock's father was Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've nailed this.
If you want to see a movie where Chris Rock is just at 11 the entire time,
Right.
that's the movie for you.
Where he's like, because he was as I understand, he was such a huge fan of the Saw franchise, and he's like, let's go, let's do another one. And everybody around him's just like, yeah, let's run it.
Yeah, it's clearly trying to be like Seven, but it's just a Saw movie.
Yeah. But anyway, I was going to say, or could the killer, or could the Hall of Ghostface person, could he just be a big fan of serial
Absolutely.
killing?
Well, that's often what it is as well.
Yeah.
It's often somebody who's linked to one of the protagonists and the other one's just a big fan they found on the internet.
Yeah.
There's often two.
Yeah,
it's
right.
more often than not there's two. So it's probably two. Okay. But I still think this one seems to be faster and more dangerous, and I think that's because it's a more experienced killer, which is why I think it's the previous one. But we'll see.
Okay.
Anyways, Invincible 2 got a trailer,
It
sort
did.
of. Invincible
A
Season 2, I should say.
Pretty meta.
But they were like, when's Invincible coming back? Wink, I'm in the show. And sometime this year. Probably back end, maybe earlier or later, as they say in the trailer.
Yeah.
Looks good, though.
It does. I think the animation's had a little tweak.
Yeah, they've clearly taken some time to update things a little bit.
And I appreciated that they sort of ran through the whole process of like,
How to-
here's all the layers of the things we have to do.
Yeah.
We can't just churn this out in a weekend kind of thing.
but just churn it out.
Just knock it out,
I want to
mate.
see it.
I want to see it right now.
Yeah. That's good. It's good to know it's coming this year, probably. And if you can't wait, just read all of the comics because it's finished and it's good all the way through.
That is true, yeah.
Anyway, let's move it along, Mason.
Do you think Invincible...
Let's stay here then.
Do you think Invincible, the animated series, will get the entire plot out before...
They cancel it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's Amazon. They don't cancel anything.
seem to
All they
have-
do? I don't know.
Thus far.
Speaking of canceling.
I guess the question is, will Amazon Prime Video have a major management shake-up at some point, at which point they'll just wipe everything?
Yeah, absolutely. Anyways, speaking of, what did Netflix cancel on the 23 days we were away, Mason?
Oh my God. Probably nothing. It's only
no.
not even a month. Probably nothing.
After one season, the series 1899, which is from the creators of Dark. I haven't seen that. People love that show. People also seem to like this one. They also cancelled Neil Patrick Harris's Uncoupled, about a single man in the city or something.
Oh, yes.
Inside Job, because it's animation.
Yep, that's out.
This is also despite the earlier season 2 renewal. They also cancelled another animation, Dead End Paranormal Park, and they also cancelled The Chair, which I was like, what's that?
The chair you're sitting in, James.
What?
Yeah, they're taking it out.
I've fallen on my bottom, Mason.
You're going to have to record the rest of this in a weird little crouch.
That stars Sandra Oh.
Sorry to hear about your bottom.
That's okay. And Sandra Oh, and it's also the first major title to come from David Benioff and D.B. Weiss.
Oh, the Game of Thrones boys.
So they went from from Game of Thrones, they got a Star Wars deal, then they got fired from Star Wars, then they went to Netflix, then they released this, then it got cancelled. I've never heard of this show in my entire life.
But they are.
Because she's in Killing Eve and shit. Those are the Game of Thrones guys. How the fuck did this happen?
It wasn't the number one movie. It wasn't the number one show every second it was available for a solid month. And even then.
Oh, yeah. Seeing this image, I have seen this poster on Netflix.
A few short notes there. One is good news, the show Minx, which got...
Oh, God, you liked that, didn't you?
I did. It's a great show. So season 2 of that was finished, and then
they
whoever had it was just like, nah, we're cancelling this, but it's been moved to Stars. So that's
Who had it?
I can't even remember.
Yeah.
It's on Stan, I
So
think,
it could be
Australia,
anywhere.
so it could be anywhere.
Yeah, it could be HBO, apparently.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to watch that then. Also, last bit of news.
Yes.
Jeremy Renner was in a terrible accident.
That is true.
So this is an official statement of how it happened. So after successfully towing his personal vehicle from its stuck location, Mr. Renner got out of his piston bully, which is some kind of tractor truck situation, to speak with... Don't come at me with your tractor truck knowledge either. I don't
Sorry, I won't.
care at all. To speak with his family member. At this
I'll
point,
take my John Deere hat off then, shall I?
At this point, it was observed that the piston bully started to roll. In an effort to stop the rolling piston bully, Mr. Renner attempted to get back into the driver's seat of the piston bully based on the... What is this, an ad for piston bully? The vehicle
it crushed him.
that runs people over by itself. Based on our investigation, it's at this point that Mr. Renner is run over by the piston bully. Now, these... extensive injuries.
Yeah.
So he's now at home because he put out a tweet recently that referring to the Mayor of Kingstown, which is the show that he's in, which I've never seen or heard of. And he says, outside my brain fog in recovery, I was very excited to watch episode 201 with my family at home. There was an even more recent post where he's talking about doing rehabilitation, and despite his 30-odd broken bones, he will make a recovery.
Right.
But this is via Radar Online. This is the extent of the damage that happened to him. The right side of Jeremy's chest was crushed and his upper torso had collapsed. He also had a bad head wound that was bleeding and a leg injury. It's much worse than anybody knows. So, I mean, good considering that he seems to be recovering.
Yeah.
But this seems like, I don't know what kind of recovery he's going to have at this point. I mean, he's rich and that helps.
That helps a lot, I think,
but,
especially in America, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, good. I mean, we make a lot of light fun, I think, about Jeremy Renner and Hawkeye over the years, but, we wish him a speedy recovery.
We do.
Any
more news, Mason?
No, but I just had a thought because you mentioned the show 1899.
Yeah.
Got cancelled. I just had a thought this week, and I just wanted to let you know about it because have you ever seen the show Yellowstone?
Which one?
That's the thing. So it's extraordinarily popular. It's
The
like
prequel or the sequel to the prequel?
Well, because I didn't know anything about it, but I knew that.
I'll tell you this. I started the Kevin Costner one and I didn't like it, so I stopped it. But apparently the prequels are better.
Okay. Well, so because I kept seeing ads for it, and I'm like, "What's Yellowstone about?" So it's by a guy. It's created by a guy called Taylor Sheridan, who I think also acts.
Yep.
He created that, and so I looked at the Wikipedia page, and there's Yellowstone, and then it says there's a prequel series titled 1883.
Yep.
Focuses on a generation of the Dutton family during the Old West. A second prequel series titled 1923 premiered in 2022.
Is that the Harrison Ford one?
Yes. And then it says a third planned spin-off titled 6666 is in development. And for a second, it's set in the Four Sixes Ranch, but for a second they're based on all the other titles. I'm like, oh my God, future ranch show. And I just pictured Harrison Ford in the show 1923. And he's like, oh my God, I'm loving this. I'm out in the wilds like I like to be. And we're filming on real sets. And I get to work with Helen Mirren. Isn't that terrific?
Isn't that great, Helen Mirren? Yes.
Yeah, yes. And also, you know what I love about this? I love that it's a million miles away from being in Star Wars. And then like a guy knocks at his trailer door and just throws a script in and he's like, you agreed to this. You're going to be playing your descendant in the year 6666.
Yep, we need you in a space helmet. We need you. You're going to be running a ranch of giant ants or something.
That's right.
Giant space ants.
And he's the next day. He's just wearing it's a Western shirt, but it's a big V-neck Western shirt. He's got a cowboy hat that's 6 feet wide. And he's like, it's me. I'm the emperor of the ranch. I'm the space emperor of the ranch. I hate this. But no, it's just about some other ranch.
Some other ranch.
Yeah.
Seems to be doing very well. It seems to be every dad's favorite show.
What?
Yeah. So maybe I'll check out some of the spin-offs at some point.
I'd love to see And I'll probably, I'd like to watch 1923 because I love Helen Mirren and I love Harrison Ford.
Agreed.
Harrison Ford's also in another TV show coming up.
Yeah, on Apple.
Shrinking.
Yeah, where he's like a psychologist or something.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Jason.
Jason.
I was going to say Schwartzman, but it's not.
No, it's How I Met Your Mother, Jason.
Jason Alexander.
Nope, Jason. That guy. Jason. Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Jason. Jason. He loves the Muppets. Jason.
What's his name?
What's the guy's name?
What's his name?
I would have known this years ago.
What was the show called?
Shrinking.
I wrote Shrinkage. That's why I didn't come up. That's why I didn't come up, Mason.
Hey, wait a second.
Seagull.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
He's not a seagull.
No.
Yeah. All right. Should we move it along, Mason?
Yes. I was gonna say. What was I gonna say?
But you said you were going to tell me to move it along.
I was probably gonna.
We're coming back to more news after.
Okay.
Anyway.
I was gonna say it looks like shrinking.
Yeah.
Is more like. Yeah, you've got move on it. So it looks looks more like he's in it for 2 minutes an episode.
Yeah.
Or something.
And he's like, you got to stop shrinking.
Right? I can't help it. I'm a big man. And life's different now. I'm shrinking.
I've got room to shrink because I'm so big. You can only shrink for so long. You'll be a little man before you know it. I don't care, Dad.
And then
It's his dad,
we
I don't know.
pull back and Harrison Ford's character's in a matchbox. It's made to look like an apartment. It was a
This is what happened to me.
I'm a little Harrison Ford.
I can't wait.
can't
I
wait.
like an Apple drama comedy,
Yeah.
whatever they're doing.
Well, see, that's the thing because of like Severance and all those.
Bad
other-
Sisters is
I was
good.
like, okay, well, this must be a weird high concept thing, but no, it's just about a guy.
You know the show Bad Sisters? I don't know if you watched it.
Nope.
It's about this is from the very get-go, but it's about a murder and trying to murder a man or whatever. And my dad's like, I've seen this. And I'm like, shut up, Dad. This is a new series and you've never seen it. You've never seen anything. Anyways, it was like a Norwegian show from like the 90s or something.
Oh, no.
So he had seen it.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
What, your dad spent some time stationed in Norway?
No,
fighting
he just
fires
watched
or something?
a lot of ABC stuff. You
Oh,
know?
that'll do it. Yeah.
ABC is different than ABC in America for everybody here. Yeah. Anyways, let's move it along.
Yeah.
It's Flemish, by the way. The original Bad Sisters.
Oh, we're
was
back? Okay,
Flemish.
great.
Yeah, we're back. We never left, Mason. Let's talk about all the upcoming. We're going to do all the movies for month by month.
We've never left, folks.
Nah.
When there was only one set of footprints on the sand, it was
It was a one-legged man hopping.
two one-legged men hopping.
Two
there'd
one-legged.
be-
I meant he was going side to side, and he had a neutral shoe that didn't curve either left or
No,
right.
that sounds very inefficient. And where did he get this one shoe?
What do you mean?
Did he get
He just went into a store. He took it.
one neutral shoe, please?
Maybe he fashioned it himself. But anyways, we did actually pause briefly to check the recording, and we discussed whether we should go and get Red Rooster between the podcasts, but we thought it would ruin our love for podcasting.
And Red Rooster,
And
probably.
Red Rooster probably. Anyway, so we're going to go month by month, and at the
I
end,
enjoy this Red Rooster because I got to get back to podcasting.
Exactly,
The
Mason.
thing that I also love.
agreed. We're going to go month
Did you
by
have to
month.
give up podcasting or Red Rooster? What
I'd
would
have
it
to
be?
give up Red Rooster, unfortunately, because this is my job. My job isn't Red Rooster, Mason.
Could be.
I guess I could work at Red Rooster.
You knock on the door, you're handing in your resume, you're like, listen, I made an inadvisable choice here. And I got to abide by it. So, do you want you need
Do you
me?
want any of this?
Yeah, yeah. I can only work when my kids are at school.
Which is when no one comes into Red Rooster, by the way. I'm also
That's
gonna-
fine. We're a tax dodge
That
operation.
is true. It doesn't matter. Then we're going to just talk about some TV shows at the
let's do
end.
it.
But TV shows often unannounced until like closer to like there's a
Sometimes we
confirmation
get a
date.
surprise. We get a
We do.
surprise series drop.
We do. Anyway, let's do January.
Mm-hmm.
There's already been a couple of movies of note. There was Mithrigan, which I still haven't seen, which has been a big, huge hit.
Mm-hmm.
Already getting a sequel. Mithorgan, anybody, etc. and so
Oh,
forth.
mate.
So forth, Mason.
Mithrigan goes forth.
Oh, that's good.
Like the fourth season of Blackadder.
We're doing the Shrek movies for Caravan of Garbage.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be up early this week, but it will start in February because YouTube ad revenue is terrible, and I refuse to put anything new up in January.
Terrific.
Because I've not taken that hit.
Why
quite
is that?
frankly.
Is there a technical reason?
Don't
for
know,
that?
but
They
it's
just do
always
it.
been the way.
Huh.
So it's the perfect opportunity for me to repackage things, which most people go, I don't remember watching this, thanks for putting this up, or why are you doing this?
Is that because there's not a lot of good movies that come out in this time period? So YouTube's like,
I think it's universal.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
think it's just movie stuff, but yeah, I don't know. Anyways, Mason, let's get back into it.
Okay.
If you haven't seen Mithrigan.
Haven't seen Mithrigan
We
yet,
should
no.
see Mithrigan. The movie Plane came out, which is
That's right.
apparently all right.
sure.
And Operation Fortune Ruse de Grey.
Now, I know about this because I've recently seen a bunch of posters newly put up around my area.
Yeah.
And apparently it was two reasons we haven't seen it yet. One is because apparently there's Ukrainian terrorists in it.
Oh.
And so it was going to come out some months ago, but then, of course, Russia invaded Ukraine, and they were like, well, we probably shouldn't be seen as to have
Maybe
any
not
kind of
doing
stance
that,
here.
yeah.
But also,
Let's not take any stance.
but the second reason, obviously, it hasn't come out yet is because it's not a real movie.
Yeah, it doesn't seem. The poster seems fake.
Yeah, it's a movie. It's if there was a movie in which Jason Statham played like an egomaniacal actor, this would be one of the posters on his wall of one of the fake movies he'd done.
Exactly.
So it's not a real movie, which is why it's not out yet.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
Anyway, apparently it came out on the 12th of January. Yeah. But that's not true.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all.
Weird. Anyway, I'll dip in and out of a Guy Ritchie movie. I like not the last one he did with Jason Statham, one before that about it had like
The Gentleman?
The Gentleman. I quite like The Gentleman from memory.
What did he do in between?
It was a weird revenge Jason Statham movie where he joined like an armored truck.
Yeah, okay.
And it was just didn't feel like a Guy Ritchie movie. It just felt like a straight to DVD Jason Statham
There
movie.
you go, right, yeah.
But anyway. Next we've got in February.
The bank bloke.
Yeah, it's called The Bank Bloke.
But I work for the bank for good or for evil. Guess you'll have to watch the movie to find out. That was the trailer. It was just him talking directly to the camera. From me to you, Jason Statham. Wink. And then he did a wink and it went ding.
Yeah, absolutely. February, though, we're going to be getting Knock at the Cabin.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the next M. Night movie. Looks interesting. Interesting cast. Jonathan Groff, Dave Bautista, other people in it,
People,
Mason.
the gentleman from the Harry Potters and other things.
Which one?
The redheaded one.
Oh, Ronald Weasley.
Ronald Weasley.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, we should have talked about how there was rumors they're going to reboot Harry Potter.
Huh.
Maybe we'll talk about that at the
great.
end.
Yeah.
At the end, yeah. I don't necessarily think it's true. We'll talk about it. Anyway, Knock at the Cabin. I thought Old was just magnificent.
Mm-hmm.
So he's interesting.
Yeah.
You know, I know people are like, he's made a bunch of dog shit. But
So have most directors.
so have most directors. And I think, he got caught in this kind of twist kind of situation. But if you look at his filmography,
It's a Shyamalan naissance.
yeah, there's a lot of good stuff there. Like genuinely, I mean, I didn't like the one where Bruce Willis drowned in a puddle.
No, that
much.
was
But
bad.
the other ones in that
was
series
weird
I
and bad
liked.
and no
Yeah.
good. And like he'd never read a comic book in his life or spoken to anyone
Yep.
who'd ever read a comic book.
Well,
But anyway,
we've never spoken to anybody, but we have read comic books.
That's true.
So that's why we're okay.
That's right.
Yeah. We also got Magical Michael's Last Dance.
Ooh.
You've dipped your toe into the Magical
I've
Michael
never seen
franchise?
a Magical Michael. I've
Me
seen
neither.
clips and so forth.
Yeah. Seems
Apparently
very erotic and exotic.
Very erotic and exotic and delightful and good. They've got a good heart or something, and they're about like being who you are. Or
Being who
whatever.
you are, exactly.
Yeah.
But this one, he goes to like Europe or whatever to do a big dance.
Okay.
Um,
I've got to live my dream and do a big dance in Europe. Specifically, where doesn't matter.
don't worry about it.
Just in the street, I reckon.
Yeah, but it's got Selma Hayek as well. Apparently Matthew McConaughey's in it, but I don't know. That's the cast coming up on Google, but it seems like the original cast aren't
Joseph
in it.
Manganiello.
Yeah, but I think they'll pop up at the end and be like, my boys are here to show their dicks or whatever, It'll be there.
You ladies thought there'd only be one dick on stage tonight, but guess what? They're all the classic dicks you know and love.
This is the Avengers Endgames of guys showing up whose dicks you want to see.
On your left, my dick. My dick's here too. The crowd. Everybody's
It's Alex whatever his name is.
Precisely.
Then we've got this. I think this is going to be a new genre of movies for a little bit. Oh, maybe not genre. It's just an idea. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Oh, yeah, right.
Which is where they take existing properties out of IP and turn them into horror classics, Mason.
That's right. Again, it seems complicated by the fact that a lot of the time the copyright is different in different countries.
Yep.
Sherlock Holmes is out of copyright. Did we mention that last year?
Yeah, and you can smile now or something.
Yeah, because every era of Sherlock Holmes is now in the public domain, which isn't to say that the estate of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle won't still legally pursue people who do Sherlock Holmes stuff.
And they'll
They
make
will.
their own versions of whatever and whatever, won't they?
They sure will. But the question, of course, becomes: are people going to do anything with these IPs, besides cheap slasher movies?
I hope so. No? No. Okay, fair enough. There's another one that they announced, and I can't remember which one it was. It was like Goldilocks and Murders or something. It wasn't
okay.
that,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't know what it
Sure,
was.
sure, sure.
Anyway. Then we've got big release, Mason. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantum Mania.
More like a little release.
Do you think so?
On account of how little Ant-Man is.
Yeah, but it's
in his little form.
It's a big story, Mason.
That's actually very
You got to
true.
think of the big ideas at play here.
It's
This
true.
is the start of Phase 5.
I reckon I could summarize it in a little way.
Go on.
Kang's there and they do a big punch on.
They probably do.
Yeah. It's not they probably do. You've seen the trailer. They do a big punch on
I'm
for
not
sure.
sure. I would never commit to anything, including any of the relationships in my life.
Okay. You think it's all going to be a ruse?
I don't know. I think it's probably going to be the thing you said, but I will not commit to it.
Guess what, Kang? The big punch on was all in your mind. Yes, I've got that power now.
Great.
We're just pulling it out at the end.
Just not, yeah.
we
I
couldn't
got-
think of an ending, so.
Michael Douglas put it in my suit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wherever it came from.
Yeah.
Start of
I got
Phase.
it from the vaccine.
Yeah, they're trying to. There's some Evangeline Lilly stuff they're trying to like navigate at the moment.
yeah.
For the release of this movie. We've talked about. Do you think they're going to kill Paul Rudd in it?
Everybody who has created like a big ensemble picture right now that's on the cusp of being released is quaking in their boots like, oh. I mean, this is, it's probably been happening for years, but now that everybody's got social media and Instagram,
Absolutely.
everybody's pouring over their cast list going like, who's gonna ruin this for
one
me?
is it?
Which one is it?
But no, apparently it's like Peyton Reed was wanting to tell like a bigger story, and it seems to be that way. I mean, they've already introduced Kang, but it's going to be like we're going to see his like more formidable. No, we haven't seen Kang. We've seen the other guy who's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're going to see all the formidableness of him and
Yes.
etc. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm not sure about the aesthetic. Like I'm kind of like, what is this weird dimension aesthetic that they're going with? But we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm not doing trailer breakdown, so I don't know anything about it. Other than I'll see it like I do all of these.
All right.
Yeah.
There wasn't a face in a rocky outcropping that could have been a guy.
There probably was, Mason,
Yeah,
and a
right,
circle that looked like a circle from Eternals or whatever.
Yeah, no,
all
hell
of those
yeah,
things.
hell yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Then we've got Cocaine Bear.
Sure, yeah.
Didn't that bear in real life just eat a bunch of cocaine and die?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, but this one is on the cocaine-fueled
Yeah.
rampage.
They should do a movie. They should do LSD Elephant. That time they gave a bunch of elephants a bunch of
Oh,
LSD.
how'd they go?
They died.
Ah.
They just straight up died.
What was the quantities, though?
Heaps.
Yeah.
Too much, probably.
Elephant-sized.
This has a lethal dose on it.
Yeah.
A lethal dose for elephants.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Anyway, stick it in them, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Cocaine Bear looks fun. It's
It
Jaws,
does, yeah.
but it's a bear that's in a bunch of cocaine. So that's good stuff. People also, I want to say, are excited for Cocaine Bear outside of like.
I thought you were going to say people are excited for cocaine.
Yeah, people are still
Just
excited for
generally, yeah.
cocaine. I think so. But outside of like movie spheres, I hear people talking about.
Oh,
this
really?
movie.
Real people? Really real
I mean,
people?
Snakes in a Plane did a similar thing in that
That's
bomb.
true.
So
Yeah.
that's not to say that that's going to be a
Yeah, yeah,
success,
yeah.
but it's interesting that it's penetrated the public zeitgeist, Mason.
That impenetrable zeitgeist.
That's right. Anyway, we're in March. Creed 3, Rocky 3. It's the speaking of Kang, Jonathan Majors.
Mr. Jonathan Majors, yes.
Back in this one. Creed's back to which Rocky story are they going to borrow from? The one where he's humbled? The one where he has a robot? That might be the same one.
Yeah, I think
where
it's,
he goes to
it's the
Russia?
humbled one, I think. I
Yeah.
think we're going to see him humbled very early on. And then he's going to do some weightlifting in the snow.
Yeah. And then he'll be humbled no more.
That's right.
Yeah. Looking forward to these. The Creed movies have been good. And the Rocky movies in general are
Spent
good.
too much time in jail, I'm afraid, Jonathan Majors, and not enough time lifting weights in the snow. And that's why you don't have what it takes to be a big winner.
That's why I hit you so hard.
That's right.
You didn't know that.
Yeah. That's why I hit you with a snowball first. That I peed on.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's right.
That should be illegal.
Yeah, no, it's not though.
It's not.
There's a guy at the side of the ring being like, 10 doesn't.
I'll allow it.
The rules. There's nothing against throwing a piss-filled snowball at a man's face before the fight starts. I got to allow it. It's the Air Bud judge. It's the same guy.
Yeah, it's the same guy. Yeah, great. Scream 6 we talked about. Love how the logo's the V and the I at the end, and it's
Just
6.
Yep,
love it.
terrific.
I mean, it's few people have pointed it out, but Quantum Mania has the word Ant-Man in it.
It's true.
And it's one letter apart. So all you do is change the it's fine. I've seen that floating around on Twitter, but great idea. I think it was Nando V Movies who did that. I can't remember. If it was him, that's great. If he didn't, you can take credit for that.
that's
It's
right.
yours now.
Thanks.
This one I'm really excited for. Stop me if you've heard this one, Mason.
Okay,
the
go
movie
on.
65.
Oh, yeah.
Stop me if you've heard of it.
I have. Stop.
Like,
It's not a veto.
no, it's just a stop.
Just stop.
Just stop. Yeah, I'm not in a riff. So,
That's right.
yeah. Adam Driver
You're not
looks like
trapped
he's-
in that riff.
No, or rift, which Adam Driver is trapped in. He goes to Earth, but it's in dinosaurs' times.
Yes.
It's because he's an alien explorer or something. And then he has to shoot dinosaurs with a laser gun.
Yeah.
Very excited for this, Mason. Terrible title. I feel like it's going to bomb on that alone, but I would love to be surprised by this. Yeah. What do you think drives a person like Adam Driver? Is this a one for me, one for you situation? Because if I was an actor and I saw the script for this, I'd be like, fuck yes, I want to do this.
Sure, yeah.
But I don't know how does a prestige actor like think?
That's a good question. But I mean, what of his? I would say
I'm a scumbag is what I'm saying. I would do this.
Yeah, right. I think I feel like most of his stuff that I've seen has just sort of been interesting.
Yeah.
It hasn't. Very little of what I've seen of his is a paycheck job.
Yeah.
Maybe this is his first one.
Maybe it is.
It's a little bit. I feel like maybe Ryan Gosling was similar.
Yeah,
in that
okay.
Although he did I'm on a boat high school or whatever when he was a kid and young.
Well, yeah, he did a bunch of that stuff already, didn't he?
That's right, yeah.
And he's in Barbie, but that
Yeah.
looks interesting at the very least. Like Adam Driver did Silence, which is
Yeah.
an incredible movie about like Christianity and whatever.
Is in that Netflix
directed by-
movie or show White Noise?
I don't think I watched that. Which one's that?
I think it's a road movie.
Oh, I watched that.
Oh, you did watch it?
I thought it was really funny and weird and
Okay,
great.
great,
I really
okay.
enjoyed that one.
Right.
Yeah, it's really you kind of got to sink into like the weird rhythm of it.
Okay.
There's like a pace to the language and it's kind of this absurdist. I thought it was terrific. It's definitely not for everybody. You probably don't take this as a recommendation, anybody.
Yeah.
But I thought it was
Don't take this as one of our legally binding recommendations.
yeah. But great. He was really good in it as well. Greta Gerwig was in it as well, I think. Yeah, really good. Anyway,
So I guess the question there is, are you looking at his IMDb there?
I can.
Well, let's find some paychecks in there.
All right.
But I think most of them have just been interesting, and he's been fortunate enough that.
I mean, like Star Wars, but
Well,
would
yeah.
you say that's a paycheck and more like
No, that's more of a. I mean,
an opportunity?
that's an opportunity, certainly. Yeah.
House of Gucci, Last Duel, Annette, the Star Wars movies, etc. Marriage Story, The Dead Don't Die. That wouldn't be a paycheck. The Report, The Man Who Killed Don Quixote, Black Klansman, Saturday Night Live, Bob's Burgers, Star Wars, Logan Lucky. It's a good movie. It's a good one. Seen Logan Lucky. The Merowitz Stories, Girls, Silence, Lego Star Wars, The Force Awakens, Patterson, Midnight Special, good movie. Star Wars again. Simpsons. No, none of these feel like
Yeah.
they're
I
all
think he's
very
just,
interesting.
I think he's just
It's
had a
in
very
Lincoln.
good run.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine there are actors who are also talented in the way he is talented, but also happen to pick projects that didn't do very well.
Absolutely.
And have sort of sunk without trace.
So he is a result of pure luck and not skill or the ability to pick anything.
Correct. Bingo, bango.
He was in that J. Edgar movie that people probably saw.
Probably.
Probably. Wasn't that a Clint Eastwood movie? What am I doing? And it was. Anyway, Mason.
Yep.
John Wick's back and all his bones are healed.
Yeah.
And he's ready to punch
Except
on.
the finger that he got.
Oh, he cut his finger off to
Yeah,
get a
yeah,
weird
yeah.
ring or something. I don't know. How are you feeling about this? I feel like this needs to kind of
Wrap it up.
wrap it up or change it up.
I think it should wrap it up or change it up.
Yeah.
Is this?
I mean, there's going to be like Ballerina and
Yeah.
various spin-off prequels.
Okay. So does that mean John Wick dies at the end?
No.
Okay. All right.
John Wick dies at the end. Sounds like the name of a book, Mason.
Correct. Yes.
No. I think it'll disappear at the end or
Okay,
it'll
yeah.
set up another 2 movies.
Yeah. Or he'll become the leader of the assassins organization.
But there'll be an even...
Or the bellhop
Or the bellhop.
at the hotel.
But there'll be an even bigger, more secret group that
Love
run
it.
everything.
Yes.
and
Yeah.
Every New York cabbie is a part of it or something.
Correct. Yes.
I love all the weird coins Mason they're handing each other. I love what they mean. What do they mean? Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Hard to make change in that universe, probably.
Probably is.
Yeah.
Then we've got Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves.
I'm excited for that.
I'm excited to revisit original Dungeons and Dragons for Caravan of Garbage.
Oh, I'm not.
Should we do the direct-to-DVD? I don't feel like we should.
I mean, it depends if there's a gap in the schedule, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's true. I don't want to. But we might. Probably
I
not,
don't think
though.
I've seen that one.
Yeah.
Because the first one has Jeremy Irons, right? And one of the Wayans brothers.
Yep.
And there's some people being all over the top and some people not.
Yep.
I think the second one is more straight ahead and it's like quite serious.
More D&D.
More D&D.
But that's not my D&D.
That's
Mason.
correct, yes.
Anyway, it's going to make $1 billion,
I don't think it is.
as we both agree.
I don't think it is.
April. Also, these dates vary depending where you are, and some get delayed or just cancelled.
Yeah, and it's always 5 o'clock somewhere, am I right, folks?
Not wrong, Mason. It's the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh, hell yeah.
Looks good.
Yeah.
There is that one reservation. Obviously, it's the Super Mario voice, but I think it will be fine
Yeah.
on the day if it's a good movie, especially. I want a Luigi's
don't think there's gonna be-
Mansion movie, though.
You want
Also.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
okay.
talking about doing a Zelda movie as well, there's rumours of. I think they're exploring all these IPs.
Yeah.
They'll probably end up, if they all do well, they'll just do a Smash Brothers, I assume.
Yeah. But I mean, I also feel like Nintendo seems quite reticent to just give away their IPs.
Definitely.
I think it's not going to be like Mario and then Luigi's Mansion the next year and then Zelda the next year and then et cetera. It's going to be this long drawn out process.
They do things
we'll get,
weirdly, don't
I reckon
they?
we'll get one every 5 years or something like that.
Okay, fair enough. But this looks fun.
Yeah.
And it seems to have, it's doing all the Mario things that we love. Platforming.
Yeah.
Mushrooms. Fish that jump out of a river over a bridge. Go-karting. Chris
Fifth
Pratt.
thing, Chris Pratt. That's right.
Yeah.
Very cool. I like that. Okay. Yeah.
we
And
got-
look, I think a big
My son's really looking forward to it.
I think a big time Italian stereotype accent might be grating over a period of
Yeah, good.
90 minutes.
Good, Mason.
Good.
Good.
You want people to leave being like, oh my God, that was like Italian nails on an Italian chalkboard. That was like dry fettuccine being dragged down
A piazza.
a piazza.
The Mona Lisa.
Down the Mona Lisa. And I loved it. I'd
Oh,
say.
dear. We got a trailer for this. It looks really interesting. Renfield.
Yeah, I saw that quite recently.
Yeah. So
So it's
Nicholas
present day.
present day. Nicholas Holt plays
Holty.
the servant of Dracula Renfield, and he's seemingly been doing it for hundreds of years at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Dracula is played by Nicolas Cage.
Yes.
He looks ludicrous.
Yes.
I love it. And he's going to therapy, and he's like, I think I hate my job because my boss makes me still kidnap people for him
Yeah.
to eat or whatever. Love it.
Looks ridiculous.
Looks
Very
ridiculous
exciting.
and
How long
very-
do we have to wait? Did you say April?
April. Not too long,
not too
Mason.
long, yeah, okay.
Not too long at all. And speaking of horror movies, it's not really a horror movie, but I guess this one is Evil Dead Rise.
Okay, yeah.
How you
So
feeling
the trailer
about
for
this?
that. Yeah, good.
Spooky stuff.
Spooky stuff. It feels like they're going with just some people find the Necronomicon, and it's not
As
not
opposed
wholly
to an
related.
Ash.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not. We're not getting Ash Ketchum, the
Yeah.
protagonist of the Evil Dead movies.
Yes.
Finally a world champion, bless him.
God bless him, Mason.
But we're getting sort of more looking into that kind of Deadites lore and,
Yeah.
and what happens when just regular people encounter this sort of stuff. Maybe they'll tie it into a
Yeah. I mean, and we got that in the reboot
Yeah.
as well. That was regular people do Evil Dead again. But this like that is like really gory and upsetting and
Yeah.
twisted. And did you see the Red Band trailer? And
No, I don't think
apparently
so.
it's much more upsetting. I haven't watched it yet.
Okay,
But
right.
I'm looking forward to this.
Great. I'm very looking forward to getting upset today, so I'll watch it.
Great, Mason. Let's jump on over to May.
Oh,
Mason,
yes.
it's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Yes.
Where someone's going to die. Probably Dave Bautista because he doesn't want to do these movies anymore.
Correct, yes.
And he's like, I'm too good for these movies now or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe this is a big jumping off point. Maybe everybody in this wants to go do some DC stuff. So
Maybe they do.
You know.
Well, Dave Bautista's been talking about doing Bane, and you could give
Hmm.
him Bane. Just give him Bane.
Has he been saying it with enthusiasm, or has he been saying it after people say, "Hey, you want to be Bane?" And he's like, "Well, I like money. So
I like money, and
I guess I'll do some stuff. I guess I'll do one for them and one for me.
Gunn. So
I'm no Adam Driver.
I'm a big
I have
deal.
talent. So I'm like Adam Driver, who's lucked his way to everything. That's what I think Dave Bautista.
Well, incredible run from Dave Bautista, generally.
Yeah.
Generally?
genuinely and generally.
Generally,
But
yeah.
here, how about this?
Yep.
Bane, fine. But we've seen Bane.
Yep.
Dave Bautista, Hugo Strange.
I like that a lot.
And he
Yep.
gets to wear the little glasses.
He loves a little pair of glasses.
Which is to say they are regular sized glasses, but he is big
his
man.
giant, big HGH infused head.
Big head.
Big head man. That's a great casting. Big beard on him.
Thank you. I'm very... Yeah, the big beard but no mustache.
Yeah.
You can pull that off, I
Love
think.
that idea. I'm thinking the Arkham look.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where everyone's a big, bulky monster.
Well, because also, like, oftentimes, some Hugo Strangers, they're teeny tiny weeny.
Yeah.
But some Hugo Strangers, they're like, I've got to be as strong as Batman, so I'm going to get big.
I'm going to be as big as Batman. Don't pull on my beard. It's his weakness, Mason.
Oh.
Next up, we've got a movie that, in all honesty, who cares?
Oh, no.
But it would make $1 billion. Fast X.
Sure.
I want to... Why can't I be in love with these again, Mason?
Because the last one was bad.
And the one before that, probably.
Hobbs and Shaw was bad.
I feel
also,
like
yeah.
the last Paul Walker one was the last one I cared about at all, and then it's just been whatever since. I think they've just become just Vin Diesel-centered nonsense.
Yeah. Again, it is
I
that...
don't like anybody, any of the
that
characters
thing-
anymore.
Yeah, it is that thing of like, which we've touched upon a bunch of times, which is the long-standing rumor that it's all like, well, you can only nobody can lose. They can only draw, and if you punch him 3 times, he has to punch you 3 times,
Yeah.
and all these weird contractual things that are just taking away from. It's more interesting if you take a few hits.
Absolutely,
But,
it
I mean,
is.
I think I think there are 2 types. There are 2 main types of action heroes in Hollywood, and it's like the underdog
Yep.
and the steamroller.
Sure.
And I think personally, I like an underdog, like a John McClane.
Yeah.
Die Hard, where it's like every victory is a struggle, and then you're right there with him, and you're like, yes, good for you, John McClane.
And
You
my-
do have a
and-
machine
And
gun.
my wife loves me again.
Exactly.
My kids love me again.
But I think a lot of people also love the steamroller, because
Yeah.
it's just you go into a cinema and you watch a guy just run
that's-
through a bunch of bad guys.
like John Wick is basically a steamroller who can get hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
And they're fun for the most part.
But
Yeah.
I think if, and they've also reached this point where they're they found that amulet, as we mentioned.
They're all
And,
magic.
They're all magic and can't die, so
We've talked about this, but do you think The Rock's going to come back?
after
Now that-
after all the insults to his family.
Well, that and like, Black Adam and
Oh, it didn't do so well.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
and, and
Has there been time to? Would there be time to put him in this?
I mean, this or put him in a post credits or whatever, and then he's in the last one when they
Yeah,
all
right.
come together. Yeah, I think there's time.
Yeah, you're
I don't know whether egos would allow it,
Uh-huh.
but I think that's a conversation which is now different than it was last year.
That is true. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
who knows? Mason, The Little Mermaid.
Regardless, I'm excited for the drama. Like I would love.
Oh
to
yeah, because the director left and whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, but I would love to see just a bunch of social media posts from Vin and The Rock about how we're back together.
We're boys again.
We're the boys again, and we're working together. And then
I take his kids on the weekend.
exactly, and then there's some little drama, and then Vin's like, "Oh, your last movie didn't do so well, did you?" And then he's out again, just maybe 3 weeks before the movie's released, and then that's what I want.
I would love that too.
And I want to see they're going to explain how Han came back to life.
And apparently Gal Gadot is coming back.
Gonna
But she
explain.
just fell out of a plane into smoke. She'll be
Yeah,
fine.
right. Yeah,
It's
that's
fine.
right.
Han came back because he wasn't in the car.
But how?
I know.
I'll never get over it.
It was so. They didn't even attempt
Yeah.
any kind of explanation. He was across the road
Yeah.
when the car exploded.
Yeah.
They didn't explain any of it.
Yeah. hmm
The fuck?
Anyway, so Gal Gadot's is going to be like, well, I fell into a cloud and there were angels in there.
I know they're like.
They lifted me up and they played the little trumpets.
I know they're probably like the people who watch this don't care. But
Be nice, though,
Do
wouldn't
they
it?
not? Do they not care though?
We'll know when the box
I don't
office
think
for
it.
this
Do
one.
people like the last one? I mean, I know it did well, but do people like it?
Don't know.
Don't know either.
I mean, again, the real test will be the box office for this new one.
Yeah.
The delayed audience reaction will be like, did we like the last one? Well,
yeah. I feel like they always kind of do $1 billion to this point. Maybe this will be the exception, and we'll wait until the trailer, obviously. But they do well internationally. They do well in foreign markets, Mason. That is to say, people whose maybe their first language isn't English necessarily, so they don't care if Han's across the road. I feel like they do.
I think they would. I
think-
think that's a part of visual storytelling that I think you would get regardless of what culture you're from.
Like-
You'd be like, we have roads.
Yeah.
And he was.
What?
If I'm in the car,
Did you get a haircut?
in the nation that I live in, I can't also be across the road.
Maybe he's
Doesn't
got a twin.
work.
Maybe he's got a twin. Then we've got The Little Mermaid.
Oh,
Yep. All right.
Yeah, I'm not going.
I don't really like the first
I'm
one.
not going to say it.
But,
I'm not against it. I
Sounds like you're against it.
yeah, I am. But I don't. Well, why would I watch that?
Don't know.
Because all the other live action remakes have been pretty average, and I got really badly burned by the movie Pinocchio, which someone tricked. Naming no names,
Okay,
someone
look,
tricked me into
do you want
watching
me to watch Pinocchio? Would
Yes.
that make you feel better?
Yes, take time out of your week.
Well, I won't.
Oh, no.
No, I'll watch it. You want me to watch it?
Not
Well,
really,
that's,
no.
well, that's stop.
That's fine. No. I think you should watch it on your own time at some point, whenever you feel like it,
Which will be never.
which will be never.
The only spare moment I have is just I open up all my apps and I go through everything and then I go to bed.
It's great. So you go to bed tired, but also your brain has been wired by
That's
the,
right.
by the
Been looking
phone
at too many
line. Yeah.
pictures.
Yeah.
There's also a movie coming out, a comedy movie called The Machine. Have you know Bert Kreischer?
Yes,
the
he does stand up without a shirt on.
He does.
Exclusively.
So his most famous story is about how the time he went to Russia as a college student and then he got involved with the Russian mafia.
Hmm.
If you haven't seen the story, I would butcher it. It's an amazing the way he tells it. Just look it up.
Yeah.
And so this is based on that, basically.
Terrific.
Yeah,
I love that.
I hope that's good. Next up in June, Mason, we've got Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I've written that wrong.
Big mistake. Should have given it a different name.
I agree. What would you call it?
Spider.
Ham.
No.
Apparently Nicolas Cage isn't in it.
He isn't in it. Yes,
Yeah.
I've heard that.
Yeah, but but there's also this is.
But his
part
story
one.
ended because he got his Rubik's Cube.
That's true, but also this is. I think they're doing two. I think they're doing back to back.
Ah.
Yeah, which is also happening with Invincible. Apparently, they're working on 2 and 3 at the same time.
Nice.
There's not a 8-year gap.
Terrific.
I mean, very high expectations for this. So I would love to that be good and met.
Absolutely.
Good and met, Mason. Here's one I'm looking forward to, and my son is also looking forward to more than anything in the world. It's Transformers Rise of the Beasts. Was reading some stuff about this on the
Go on.
Transformers Reddit something. I
Okay,
think.
sure.
And it's basically that the lesson from Bumblebee that the executives took was that it wasn't like the previous ones because it didn't make enough money. But I think it's because they're all terrible except for Bumblebee, and you burnt everybody else.
I think
out.
that's 100%
And that's
what it is,
actually a good movie.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's the only one I would even entertain watching again. And if they lean out away from that
Yeah,
and
right.
into the other stuff,
So you think this is going to be more Bayverse?
no, that's the thinking. The executives have even talked about that was a problem with Bumblebee. But also they called it Bumblebee, which is probably a problem. If it was Transformers Rise of Bumblebee or Transformers Bumblebee, but he's doing
Transformers
ET,
The Fall of Bumblebee.
the Fall of Bumblebee.
Yeah.
And then they could do the Rise of Bumblebee.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I
Bumblebee gets his groove back.
that's
Which,
right.
By that, I mean his voice box.
I would love it. Just have him talk. I loved how he was talking in the other movie. He was like chat, 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 chat.
Yeah.
It was the guy from Maze Runner.
Yuck, yuck, yuck,
Yuck,
yuck,
yuck, yuck. You cannot stop me. I'm just gabbing about.
I'm gabbing and I'm gossiping.
Yeah. And it's got
That is not a good colour on RC, let me tell you.
speaking of RC, she's got like the roller skate wheels. Did you see
I
that?
did see that, yeah.
Love all of that. I hope it's great. Giant Optimus Prime gorilla as well. I know it's not Optimus Prime, but my son, Mason, who I consider a brother in many
suspicious.
ways, is I got him an Optimus Primal for Christmas that he loves. He's very excited for this. Anyway, I hope I love this to be great. And you love Transformers.
I do love Transformers.
Right. And then let's talk about The Flash.
Yes. And then never again after it's
Did you see Dark Flash toy leak?
No. Should I look that up right now?
Absolutely, you should.
I did see a poster for The Flash, and it's got 2 Flashes, 2 Ezra Miller Flashes. One is what appears to be mainline Snyderverse
Yeah.
Flash.
You didn't see this?
Oh, okay.
It's like
all right.
Venom Spawn Flash.
Yeah, Venom Spawn, bit of Godzilla in there. Okay.
Godzilla 97.
Yes, very spiny and spiky. Okay.
Yeah.
But the other Flash on the poster is wearing a Batman costume.
With a very wide neck.
Yes, it looks like maybe the Batman Returns batsuit,
Yeah.
but it's been spray painted red. Okay, and that particular Flash is all like, I'm goofy.
I'm a goof.
What's going on there? It might be, I wonder, there's
The necks are all wrong on all these toys. Look at these necks.
Oh no, that's so then we've got Batman, obviously. He doesn't look so bad.
He looks like Forever Batman.
Yeah. Then we've got the Flash Young Barry and simply the Flash.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, Young Barry. Okay, so maybe it's not a parallel universe version of him. Maybe it's a prior version of him.
Yeah.
This is a spoiler now.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a prior version of him that was mentored by Batman.
Oh, okay, right.
And that's why he's wearing the Batsuit. My first thought I believe there's the Dark Knight's Metal comic book event in DC. Where there were a bunch of evil Batmen who had all the various powers of all the other heroes.
Right,
One was
okay.
Red
I
Death, I
remember
think,
that,
which was
yeah.
like the Flash, but he's also Batman. And I'm wondering if maybe that's the heel turn in this.
Yeah, okay,
Like maybe
yeah.
we think he's a good guy, but actually he killed the Batman from his universe and he's et cetera. I don't know.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes
Doesn't- It only makes sense because we
understand comics.
We understand comics.
We don't know people, but we know comics.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, obviously there's a lot of stuff going on with that movie, including all the cameos that they've probably cut.
Yeah.
And also obviously the Ezra Miller stuff.
God, they
But,
would cut Keaton Batman if they could. They
100%
would
they
absolutely
would.
cut him out.
100% they would.
Yeah.
But who doesn't want to see a Flashpoint movie? Who
I mean, I'd
doesn't?
rather see any number of other Flash storylines, but I couldn't name another one, so there's got to be other better ones.
Flashdance.
Flashdance, exactly.
Perfect. Next up, we have the Disney Pixar movie Elemental, where it's what if a fire had an emotions or something,
Yeah.
and they all live in a weird elemental
See,
city.
what if Hot Guy and Cool Girl?
What does that even mean?
Don't know.
What kind of child is that? Dirt?
Yeah.
Is that what happens?
I think
when you
dirt.
put that's what happens when you put
Yeah,
fire
or
and water.
Puss. Maybe they've
Yep.
got a Puss boy.
Yeah.
Or a Puss girl.
Puss girl, that's fine too. So it wouldn't be like Steam.
No, it'd be pass.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not interested in this, but I'll say it because
great.
I have kids.
Oh, yeah.
And I just will. After that, Mason, it could be great. Pixar's, pretty good. Next up, we've got Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Yes, bad title, probably good movie, probably.
Maybe, who knows?
Do you think there's time for an alteration of the title somehow?
Nah, this is it.
Yes.
I mean, when you think about any titles of these movies, none of them are great.
That's right.
That's not true. But this is probably not a good title, I think.
Bad title.
But I'm very much looking forward to it. I know people have also talked about doing that short round spin-off and whatever. All of that would be great.
Yeah.
But we'll see. And again, that's my most anticipated movie of the year, despite the fact that I know that I could be very badly burnt by it.
Very badly.
But that's what makes it exciting. That's like when you go into a terrible relationship and you're like, this is bad for me, but I can't stop myself. And that's how you get married. I'm the guy who hates my wife, Mason.
Yes, he's back.
It's a good joke.
Yes. Agreed.
I don't. I love my wife and family.
You keep saying that. The Russo brothers, I believe, or one of them, I think, retweeted that fan-made poster, I think, of Tales of Short Round.
No, that was another Russo's guy.
Oh,
that,
different
then
Russo
it got
guy?
misconstrued as being Joe Russo, but it was a different Joe Russo.
It's just a guy with the surname Russo.
That's right.
I think that should all be made
It was
illegal.
Renee Russo.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's a big fan. She'd be great in an Indiana Jones movie.
I think so.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is also, you could also just cast him in a different thing that isn't just nostalgia bait.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it?
Maybe a thing that
I saw an
maybe
interesting.
you could do one for him, one for them.
Yeah, I saw an interesting take of like Hollywood welcome him back with open arms and everybody's like clapping and cheering.
Yeah.
Like that they weren't the reason he disappeared for 20
Exactly.
for
Same
20
with Brendan
years.
Fraser.
Same with Brendan Fraser, exactly, yeah. So, but anyway, regardless, I'm
We've
glad they're
allowed you back. Well
Yeah,
done, you guys.
crawled back. We
did
we didn't think we put enough roadblocks in front of you, but you got through.
We're Hollywood. We're so good. Here we are. We're clapping for you at our award ceremony for ourselves. We're so noble.
Then we got July. We got Insidious Fear the Dark, which is the 5th entry in the series.
Don't know what that is.
Patrick Wilson will direct.
Now, Patrick Wilson is in the Conjuring movies.
Yeah,
Is
but
that
he's
right?
also in these ones.
Okay, is same character?
No, they're different characters, I think.
Huh.
Which one is the one where they play the real life con men?
Conjuring, I think.
Okay, well, they're not that one then. Anyway, people like these, I think, and there's 5 of them now. Then we've got Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning
Yes.
Part 1. Tom Cruise is normal. We all think he's normal, don't we, Mason,
Yes,
on
we
this
do.
show?
That's right.
Everything about that dude, normal.
So normal.
Yeah. Don't look into anything. Just enjoy all the things that he makes. That's what I do.
I saw some photos, some behind-the-scenes photos of the only movie that he directed. I cannot tell you what it's called, but in every behind-the-scenes photo, he's got a cowboy hat on.
What?
I don't know.
I'm just Googling this right now.
This is from years ago. This isn't
Because I feel like he does direct.
You think? Oh, I mean, in the sense of like,
That he has complete creative control over
That's the
everything
one,
he
yes.
has ever done. Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. Yeah. All right, here we go.
but the one where he's the only one where he's the named director.
Yeah, okay. Is it something about like I'm a senator on something?
Maybe.
Tom Cruise filmography. Here we bloody go, mate. Here we go. Here we go.
Here we bloody go. Here we bloody go.
Apparently he Tom Cruise bit in the film, whatever. Sam, he also made his directorial debut directing an episode of an anthology television series, Fallen Angels.
Huh.
That's the only thing he's directed, apparently.
There you go.
It's this Fallen Angels thing.
Wow.
So was that the one you were talking about?
Almost certainly. I was talking more about the cowboy hat.
Yeah. Let me check. Tom Cruise cowboy hat. Yeah, man. There's so many pictures of Tom Cruise wearing a cowboy hat. Damn, Jeremy Brockheimer's wearing a cowboy hat in some of these.
He's got his white tee on. He's pointing dramatically. He's like, hey,
Get on it.
more directing, please.
From me.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Hey, how about you do it like this while I'm wearing a cowboy hat?
What do you think of this, Mason?
Ooh. He's all in a fetal position.
Yep,
kneeling
but
on
he's
the
wearing
ground.
a fedora.
But he's wearing a fedora, I guess.
That's,
that's
very
true.
good. All right, let's move.
How's your date going, actor? Oh, I'm wearing a hat in the desert.
Oh, you got it for your skin.
Yeah.
Australian sun is brutal, which I
That's
assume
right.
this is where he is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody on their marks in this car, I'm wearing a hat.
Is that how he ends all these sentences?
Yes.
Everybody get ready. And action, I'm wearing a hat.
Notice that I'm wearing a hat.
Yeah. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 looks amazing.
Yep, very
And these
excited.
are consistently good, except for that one that's bad. And
we don't talk about it
We don't talk about that
because
one.
we did the
'cause
video.
We did it already. Next up, we have Oppenheimer.
Ooh,
It's about the big nuclear bomb that happened.
that's right.
One of them. and
What are the
Christopher
big
Nolan.
ones? What are the biggies?
I think so. Christopher Nolan, etc., and so forth.
Sure.
It's going to re-engage audiences with cinema, etc. I can't say
I mean, Avatar already did that.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
you know, maybe you should have knocked this one out a little bit quicker.
me.
Yeah, you.
I don't have much of a say in this.
Huh.
Yeah.
Right. Well, maybe you could take some proactive steps in
Okay.
getting more of a say in this.
Okay.
And then you could have released it earlier than Avatar, and you could have gotten more people into cinemas.
You're right.
So
you're right.
thanks for nothing.
No, that's you're right. I apologize. The
Apology
movie.
not accepted. It's too late.
This is about Pinocchio, isn't it?
Yes. No. It's a different thing that I'm mad about that I won't tell you about.
Barbie
Yeah.
looks weird and fun.
Yes.
Hopefully, weird trailer.
Yeah.
Weird fun trailer.
I'm excited for
Yeah,
Barbie.
me too. Because at least it's not just like Barbie gets fired from her interior designing job or whatever they could have
Yeah,
done.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and they did
It's
something
not,
interesting.
It's not Barbie. What if Barbie real life? And it's like
It could be.
the devil. Well, yeah, but it's not like The Devil Wears Prada, where she's just
Yeah.
a working girl in the city and blah blah blah. They've gone, yeah, she's a toy. We think.
Yeah, exactly. And then we got the Marvels.
Oh yeah,
We're looking forward to that. All the Captain Marvels coming together.
That's right.
Good.
It is good.
I watched Matilda
Mm-hmm.
over the break, which has one of the Captain Marvels in it. The
one?
the one who's in.
One of the Rambos.
No, she's in the alternate dimension one. Yeah, one of the Rambos. One in the alternate dimension who gets killed by Scarlet Witch.
Lashana Lynch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, she's from Bond as well.
Yes.
She was new James Bond or
She was
whatever
new
for a
James
second.
Bond, that's
Yeah.
right.
Anyway, Matilda's fun, but she's great in it as
Is she
well.
British or
Yes,
American?
I think she's British. Oh, she does a very good. Well, I guess she's in Bond, so I guess she is British,
But maybe
right?
she's American.
No, I think she's British.
I can't get her.
But who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah, let's ask her.
Well, that could be
British?
the new trend for this year. What do we do in 2023? We're asking celebrities on social media,
Are they British?
obviously questions that we could Google.
Yep. August Mason.
She is British.
Yep. I knew it, but we should still ask.
Okay.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. This is another
But
one that
presumably in
me
Manhattan,
and my son are looking forward to.
because that's where you get the good, the good manholes.
That's right. He's been working his way through all of the series. The only one he hasn't watched now is like the 2003 version.
Uh-huh.
And we watched the first season of the original one from the 80s, but nothing else because it's terrible after that.
It is bad.
Yeah.
Some
But
would say during that also. It's
no, that first 5 are pretty solid, I would say.
Okay, right.
But
Has he seen the New Line movie, the first one?
No, but he's seen
It's
Secret.
too gritty?
There's too much cigarettes.
And famously,
He could probably handle
whenever you
it.
see a cigarette on screen, you're like, "That's cool."
Yeah.
and that would be a bad influence.
That
I
would
think
be
on
bad,
your kid,
wouldn't it? But all the versions are good, to be honest. I like all of them. I like the Rise, the newest one, really good, really unique.
Yeah.
The 2012 3D animated one's really good as well. They're just all great, to be honest, and different.
When are you going to make him play the 1990s Nintendo Entertainment System?
He has played it because we have
a really
that.
difficult one.
Yeah, but there's like 5 other games on that cartridge.
Oh, yeah.
So he's just like, I'm not playing this. And
Wow.
fair.
Yeah,
And he's right.
yeah.
Anyway, Mutants Mayhem, Seth Rogen's in it, and it's more about them or involved with it. They're younger. They're like more teenager-y. And
Do they have more individual designs?
I think they do, yeah. Yeah. But they do in Rise as well, like a bunch of
Yeah.
and other stuff as well. Next up, this cannot be true. Apparently, Meg 2, The Trench is coming out this year.
Terrific.
Is this Mithrigan 2? What's happening here?
This could be
Mithrigan
real.
in a trench?
Maybe they're trying to capitalize on Meg-based movies.
Maybe. This isn't true, though, is it?
I reckon it is true. I reckon they've made it.
Is it about a kraken or something?
That's about the Meg.
No, I know, but there's going to have to be a bigger monster. We've talked about this in the
That's true,
Meg.
yeah.
Scripted filming. Statham said the filming was set to begin with. Yeah, they filmed it last year.
Oh, yeah.
It filmed until May. The fuck? Anyway, it's coming out this year.
Jason Statham is quoted as saying, "We'll do it on the day. We'll film it all before the release date. We haven't done any of it yet."
But we will.
We will.
So
That'll
there
be
you go.
fun,
The
yeah.
Meg 2 is coming out. Then we
Great.
got the Haunted Mansion. Second Haunted Mansion movie, because there was an Eddie Murphy one from
remember that, yeah.
the early 2000s. We should do a series of videos on failed Disney movies based on rides.
Yes.
Do you know the movie Red, not Faction and not Dawn and not Notice? Mission to Mars.
So not red at all.
No, I was thinking of Red Planet or
Okay,
whatever the
sure.
other one is. Mission to Mars is based on a ride, a Disney
didn't know
ride.
that.
I didn't know that either.
Okay, so we'll do that. We'll do Tomorrowland, I guess.
We will.
Others.
Is it Mission to Mars?
Did you see the trailer for that show?
Yeah.
and it's in exactly the same pocket as Tomorrowland. The show of like, why would anybody make this?
What's the show?
It's got Billy Crudup, I think. It's an Apple TV show, and it's called like the Tomorrow Folks, Tomorrow City, Tomorrow Town, or something. And
Hello Tomorrow.
Hello Tomorrow. There we go.
No, I haven't seen this.
And it's like we're in a town and we've got flying cars and that, and we're all gonna go to the moon.
What, does Billy Crudup only live on Apple now?
Yeah.
Does he not live anywhere else?
Yeah, he lives on Apple now.
I want to see him in Meg 2, The Trench.
Too bad he can't.
No.
No, he's in Apple now.
He's in Apple
He's just
now.
doing Prestige TV. What else has he done on Apple? Is he in
That
Severance?
one that was about sexual harassment in the workplace, and it's got Jennifer Aniston. The morning show.
All right.
And I'm watching it, I'm like, this is very prestige, but guess what? It's just not very good.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I was really like, I should like this. I like everybody in this.
Did that shatter all your illusions about Prestige TV always being good TV?
It did.
Wow.
It did, Mason.
Well done, the morning show / Morning Wars.
Anyways, it's fine or whatever. Next up, we've got Gran Turismo. What?
Yeah.
Neil
they're
Blomkamp is directing
Yeah,
this.
right. Who's starring in that, I wonder?
I remember, but I've forgotten. But here we go.
Okay. Do you remember when?
David Harbour, Orlando Bloom,
Okay.
Darren Barnett,
There you go. Do you remember when?
Jerry Halliwell, Jamon Honsu.
Ooh.
Ooh, I'm liking this.
Jerry Halliwell.
Gerald Halliwell.
Okay, all right.
I mean, I like Neil Blomkamp, and I hope he gets a win because I want him to make
Thomas Kretschmann.
Who?
Don't know who that is.
I want this to be good so he can make another. Give him some big budget weird sci-fi
Yeah.
stuff.
I mean, this could do well with dads.
It's true.
Yeah.
Dads
Is it-
loved Ford v Ferrari.
They did. I mean, what is this coming of age sports drama film? Okay, produced by Columbia Pictures PlayStation Productions. Okay, so it is based on the game. But I mean, to what degree is it based on Gran Turismo?
Yeah, I don't know.
game
What's the
series.
storyline of Gran Turismo?
I don't think there is one.
How fast this car? Pretty fast, I reckon.
Do you remember when they made that Need for Speed movie?
No.
Okay.
I do, but no.
Yeah, no. Me neither.
Aaron Paul.
Aaron Paul was in it.
They
yeah.
tried to do like Fast and
Yeah.
Furious or
but
whatever.
it was dull.
You watched that,
was
didn't
dull,
you?
Andrew.
Dominic Cooper, like the car? The Mini
Oh,
Coupe?
the Mini Cooper. Was he in that?
I think so. You watched it. I didn't
did
watch it.
some of it. Yeah.
Why do I remember that you watched some or all of that movie?
Don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Next up, we got Blue Beetle.
Okay.
What's it?
Speaking of Mini Coopers and Beatles and so forth.
Yeah, and maybe a thing that.
Yeah, will this get cancelled?
Well, yeah,
Yes.
It seems like it's happening. I hope it is.
It does, doesn't it? But
got
a lot
the-
of stuff. Batgirl seemed like it was happening, didn't it?
They made it and everything. It's got the
Yeah.
guy from New Karate Kid, whatever. So cool. September, the threequalizer.
Wake me up when September ends.
I agree.
I should have saved that till the end.
Yeah. I mean, you can no, because then if it would be over.
Yeah, but what I'm thinking is I would say you would list all the movies and I would say Wake Me Up When September
okay.
ends, indicating that all the movies are boring.
Yeah, okay.
But I don't want to. It's too late.
It is, isn't it?
It's too late.
And who
you
can-
should have vetoed me, James.
Nah, as if I'm going to throw one out day one.
You might. No, you've.
I've done dumber things.
Yeah, I think you did. I think you used two in an episode once.
I did.
Yeah.
I haven't watched Equalizer 2, but who doesn't love a dad getting a hammer and hitting bad guys or whatever?
Dads love hammers.
Dads love hammers. Yeah.
Love building boats and sheds and hitting gang members who threaten their daughters. Probably.
This is some there's some geezer teaser
So this
stuff.
is Threequalizer.
Yeah.
This is the new Denzel Washington,
and not the TV series
with Queen Latifah.
Yeah, which is a different Threequalizer.
Yeah.
Great, good. And then we've got A Haunting in Venice. Why did I put that in?
Don't know. What
it?
is that?
I would have put it in for a reason.
You know why? It's for broadening our horizons. That's why we're putting
Oh, it's a fucking Kenneth Branagh Poirot mystery movie.
it in.
That's why I put
it's,
it
It's
in.
a Death in the. It's the next one after Death in the Night.
But it's got, here we go. It's got Jamie Dornan, Michelle Yeoh, Tina Fey.
This is exactly what I was talking about. This is who's going to get cancelled in this. Because the last one, it was like 4 people.
There was.
It was like 4 people.
and one was a cannibal, maybe.
One was a cannibal, maybe. Yeah. So
This is going to be very interesting, Mason.
But I'm liking seeing Jamie Dornan and stuff. Love Jamie Dornan.
Me too.
He was in Barb and Star
it-
until he gets cancelled for something. Yeah.
For something, cannibalism or
I think
whatever.
he's too Irish to get cancelled.
You can't be too Irish to be cancelled, can you? Maybe you can.
Yeah.
What else we got, Mason?
Oh,
Anyway, I feel like the only reason they made this is because they were already making it when that
yes.
last one came out.
Yeah, yeah.
There was no way they would have greenlit this off the back of the last one. Not a fucking chance.
do you think after the previous one revealed the origin of his mustache, this one's going to reveal why he likes delicious desserts or something? Do you think there'll be an origin story to his
Yeah.
love of desserts or symmetry
Yeah, he
or
just
whatever?
goes, I love desserts.
Oh, wow.
I just always liked them. I've always enjoyed them ever since I was a wee Belgian boy,
Sure.
if that's where he's from. Is he from there?
And they're like, would you like some Belgian waffles? And he's like, how dare you?
We call them waffles.
Yeah, that's right.
We just call them waffles.
Yeah.
Um,
And everything else non-Belgian.
yeah.
I'd like some non-Belgian apple pie, please. That's what I like.
There's another one that I guess is happening. Expendables 4, apparently in September. Bloody wake me up when September ends. And I'm like,
Nice.
right, everybody.
Yes! That's
Me-
how you do it.
what was I going to say? No.
Where are they going to put the 4 in Expendables?
At the end.
Okay.
It's just going to be the Expendables 4.
I don't like that.
No?
No.
Fine, I'll take out the X. The X4 Pendles.
Nice.
It's got Tony Jaa, Jason Statham, Dolph Lundgren, Megan Fox.
Oh, okay.
Some of
that's
the
a nice
guys
addition.
from
Okay.
The Raid.
All right.
Andy Garcia.
Oh, Andy Garcia.
Yeah. Do you think he's going to be a slithering secret agent CIA handler or something?
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson is in it as well.
Okay, anytime they do one of these ensembles, I am excited to see
And then you see the
who is
movie.
brought into the club
And
and,
then you
why.
see the
Speaking of
movie.
who's being brought into the club,
Who's
50
been-
Cent.
That's very good, Mason.
Yeah.
But then you see the movie and then
It's not very good, yeah.
They're kind of
I've only
bloodless.
seen 3 and people were like, this is the best one, and it was the worst one.
I fell asleep during 1 and then we watched 3 for this show.
Yes.
And I didn't like it.
Wow.
Next we got Next Goal Wins, which is the next Taika Waititi movie,
Ah.
which is about soccer or something.
Well, I'm willing to give him another shot.
I agree.
Don't know why, but I will.
Well, he's made pretty good movies.
He's made a bunch of pretty good
but
movies.
you didn't
I
like
think.
the last one.
That's correct.
You said it was bad and you hated it.
I did say that.
Yeah, but
You're
that's-
saying that as if these are lies, but oh, I see what you're doing. You're sprinkling in some truth with these, so when you say a big lie about me later, people will
I'm not doing anything. I have no agenda.
No, it seems like you have a big time agenda. And you say I'm paranoid too, which is a lie.
I think it, I don't say it.
I know. See it in your eyes.
October. Craven the Hunter.
Oh, wake me up when October ends.
You're not wrong. Craven the Hunter?
I don't believe that's coming out. Ever.
It's Sony. Of course they're going to release it.
I mean, yeah, but
they filmed it already.
I reckon that is going to be bumped to 2024.
All of these have been filmed.
Yeah, I reckon they're going to bump it.
That doesn't sound right that 2024 is next year. Who did that?
Not me.
Who did that?
Not me.
I don't, not you?
No.
Yeah, all right. Anyway, it looks bad, but love to be surprised by how bad it will be.
When do you think we're going to get a trailer for that? Not for a long time.
Probably April.
Yeah.
April, May, maybe even later than that.
I reckon
maybe
later than
mid-year
that.
even.
I
Actually,
reckon mid-year, yeah.
Probably Comic-Con.
Yeah.
That'll be like July-ish. Yeah.
Can't wait.
Can't wait either.
Do you think there's ever been a Comic-Con trailer that people haven't wooed at?
Yeah.
It's just sad silence.
Yeah, definitely.
And then Aaron Taylor Johnson comes out in the Craven suit. They've gone, this will be big. Remember when Hiddleston did it for Loki and everybody loved it? Do you remember that? Well, we're going to do that for
I'm
you. This is
wearing the
gonna,
vest.
big time hype, and he's coming out. He hasn't worked out in a while, so he's just like normal guy physique wearing a line on his chest.
Yeah.
I'm going to love it.
I just incredible. And what I like him.
Yeah.
Let's talk about him being the next Bond.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I think he's got
I think he could go less famous.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
But, if he got cast, I would not be upset.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
But he looks like he gives me like more of a grubby Bond vibe.
Well, yeah.
Like, like the 60s book Bond, just grubby and
Just
no
a
good.
grubby bloke.
Not that he's a grubby bloke.
You're a grubby bloke, Bond.
Who's this?
I don't know.
Okay,
His wife. Mason.
Yes.
Then we got the movie True Love, and I put this in because it's Gareth Edwards' next movie, who, of course, did one of the Godzillas, maybe.
Yeah,
But-
okay.
and some of Rogue One before they kicked him off.
Right.
But it's a sci-fi movie. We don't know the story, but it's got David John Washington, Gemma Chan, and Benedict Wong. So
That's a good
all
cast.
of this combination of whatever this is
Yeah, right.
could be interesting.
Oh, okay.
Then we've got Untitled The Exorcist film,
Huh.
which is a sequel.
Exorcist
Exorcist.
goes bananas.
Yeah.
And to Hawaii.
and to Hawaii.
Yeah.
You know,
And-
Max von Sydow was like 42 when he made that first one, and they aged him up. Because I always thought he was just an old man for 50
Right,
years.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, he's old now. He wasn't old then.
Nice.
Who knew? David Gordon Green is directing this, and he was responsible for somewhat responsible for the latest Halloween trilogy.
I see, right.
And now he's got his. I think after the first one, they gave him The Exorcist, and now they have to do it.
He's got his David Gordon grubby little mitts into this.
He does.
Okay.
I'm not really a huge fan of this franchise. I've only seen the first one and like bits and pieces of the others, but sure. It also stars Alan Burstyn is back, but I don't think Linda. Is it Linda? What's her name? Who's the lead in it?
Linda?
I want to say Blair.
Ooh, it might be Linda Blair. That sounds about right.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Great stuff, Mason.
Okay.
Then we got Paw Patrol, the Mighty Movie.
Okay.
I don't have to go to that. My
Why
son
don't
has
you?
grown out of it, so that's good.
I see. Really? What did he say about it?
He said, if you
He
take
was like,
me to-
ACAB includes Paw Patrol. That's what he said.
That's
Because I
what he
told
said.
him to say that.
No, I told him too.
Oh, wow. All right.
Remember we sat him down and we told him to say it.
Listen, we know you're enjoying this right now. There's a few things you need to know about police budgeting.
Then we've got...
I don't think they should have that truck that has the weird sound cannon on it.
I agree.
And it blows people's eardrums out.
And they poo their pants.
They poo their pants. I don't think the Paw Patrol should have that.
I agree.
You know?
I saw the Paw Patrol where they all get superpowers, and I'm like, I hate this team.
I
hate
know.
these knockoff X-Men fucks.
Wow.
Saw X.
Sorks.
Sorks.
It's now going to be Sorks. Sorry, everybody.
Go Sorks.
Go Sorks. That's the hashtag for this year. We're hoping for big things for Saw X, so it's Go Sorks.
Sorks is an upcoming American horror film directed by Kevin Gruteret. Screenplay.
Okay.
It's the 9th. The film is the 9th main installment and the 10th overall. I'm like, why is it Sorks then? It's the 10th
Spiral,
overall,
yeah.
yeah. But I don't know what this is, honestly.
Okay.
So we'll find out, I guess.
But he's back, baby.
He's done a bunch of other Sork stuff. He did
Okay.
Saw 6 and 7.
Right.
People asking whether we're going to come back to those for Caravan and Garbage. I don't remember them, so I don't know whether I want to. They didn't do super well, and horror never does because it gets like the algorithm like kills it.
And you were saying as well, because the Saw 3 has a brain surgery scene in it. And wasn't YouTube very upset with that?
Yeah, it got demonetized and whatever.
Yeah.
And they're all like that. So
Yeah, so let's assume that 4 through 6 are quite, family friendly. We'll do those.
and I forgot who's Saw, and I don't care enough. So
Right.
I'm probably honestly we probably won't do it.
Okay,
'Cause I don't
unless one of them is like, let us know if one of them's like, oh, this is the best one. Like,
Nah,
this is a real standout for some reason.
No, I've watched like recaps and like
No. To be clear
reviews.
though, if you're normal and you think it's the best one, email in.
Yeah.
But if you're not normal, if you're
Don't
one of those
even.
if you're one of those freaky horror guys,
Don't
email in.
Don't even.
But you were saying they got Tobin Bell back, so
Yeah,
the
for some reason,
the original
somehow.
Mr. Saw is back.
Yeah, that's right.
But he'll have to be in flashback, surely.
Maybe he's alive again or something.
They shot him in the head.
Who knows?
And his brain came out.
Who
They took his
knows?
brain out and then they shot him in the head. They just put his brain
They
back
put
in.
his brain. They just
Should put his brain back
but
in.
it's backwards, so he rides in that little tricycle backwards.
No.
Yeah,
That's very sinister. I don't like that.
I don't like
It's
it either.
unsettling.
I agree. Anyway, go Sorks.
Her socks, baby.
November, Dune Part 2. Good.
Yeah.
Let's see it.
Nice.
Should have filmed them back to back probably, but
yeah.
that's pretty good that they got it out in 2 years. That's pretty impressive.
Now, who's the new guy in this? He's another Timothy Chalamet-esque type. Austin Butler. Austin Butler.
Mr. Elvis.
Just a beautiful man.
Mr. still doing the Elvis accent. Everybody's making fun of him for.
Yeah.
Whatever, yeah.
Did you see they're doing a Netflix, I think it's an animated series. It's What If Elvis Was a Cop or something?
Yeah, what if he was?
What if he was?
Didn't he get a badge from Nixon or something?
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he sent some letters to Nixon being like, hey, I'd like to be in the FBI, please.
Did he want to do that because of all the things he did with underage women? Is that why?
Maybe.
Because then he could absolve himself of those things. Was that in the movie?
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen
I
it
didn't
either.
see it.
Anyways,
I didn't see it.
then we've got Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nugget.
Oh.
Chicken Run 2.
Right, gotcha.
I realized I became Neil deGrasse Tyson and I was like, ugh, they'd all be dead now. I did a tweet like that. I'm like,
About chickens.
I'm the worst.
Right, okay.
Then we've got, I'm looking forward to this, but probably,
It's set the next day, James, probably.
yeah, maybe.
Probably set the next day.
Maybe it is.
Or it's a prequel where they're eggies.
Eggies?
Yes.
Eggies? Okay. We've got The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and I want to revisit them for Caravan of Garbage, so that's why I'm excited for
Okay,
this.
all right.
And then we've got the movie Wish.
What's that?
It's a Disney movie.
Okay.
Uh,
We've maybe mentioned this.
Wish asks the question, how did the wishing star upon which so many Disney
yeah, that's
characters
the one,
wished come to be?
Yeah.
Boo. So that could be good, but hate that.
Now, is the star going to be,
Imbued with wish powers?
yeah, or is it? I get a wish? Well, that's what I'm saying. Does it have a personality or something?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or is it a star that just consumes an entire solar system?
Nom,
and
nom, nom,
then it
nom, 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 nom.
becomes unmoored and then flies through the
Nom,
air?
nom, nom, nom.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great.
That.
That's really good.
December.
Wonka.
Wonka.
Wake me up when November ends.
He's not wrong.
Except for June. Wake me up when November ends, but I've seen June. Wait. Wake me up. I was I was asleep for October. Wake me up after October when it ends, and then I'll watch June, and then I'll go back to sleep, and then wake me up after November ends.
Yep, I could even wait for streaming. So wake me up when it comes to streaming.
No, I want to see it on the big screen. I think I've made that decision.
But probably not IMAX, so I've got to drive into the city.
I'll take the train.
I won't though.
I'll take the train and I'll walk the rest of the way.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Then we got December. We've got the Wonka prequel.
Yeah, Jonker.
Yep, Jonker. Great. Then we've got Untitled Ghostbusters Afterlife sequel.
Terrific.
Don't make me. Every time I come back and, I just hate it. I just don't.
You're going to have to watch it though, aren't you?
I know I will.
Yes. Why do you have so much eye for this franchise, opposed to all the other garbage we're going to watch this year?
I don't know.
All the other things I've just heard about that are all garbage.
Because my personality and my attitude towards these movies attracts another kind of attitude and personality, which I do not enjoy. And I know I'm just going to I cannot help myself. I will step back into this fray.
Yeah,
and I don't want to.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
They're just not good as a franchise. Just not, like the first one's
James,
fine.
Save it till December.
Yeah, but
I'm going to wake you up when James, how about I wake you up when December ends?
No, because I want to watch Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, I guess.
All right, great.
Which is also coming out.
Yeah.
There's so much reverence for everything in this fucking movie, and it was just like a stupid ghost movie.
Yeah.
That they just made on a whim that for some reason worked one time. And now it's just like, it's like, fuck all this.
You're going to go, the proton pack.
Yeah, it was.
Ooh.
Don't cross the streams. Remember that? Yes. This is what I'm talking about.
Okay, but James,
what am I doing?
Yeah, I know, and I know you're mad. But remember when they made the Statue?
I'm mad at myself.
Remember when they made the Statue of Liberty walk around?
Yeah, I do remember that. I liked it.
Oh, the Statue of Liberty walk around.
Remember that?
How about this, James?
What?
Unrelated? No, I'm talking.
What?
I've moved on to Aquaman. I'm ending this. It's not a veto, but I'm ending it.
Okay.
What if at the end of Aquaman, Lobo comes out of the shadows and it's Jason Momoa?
What about if they have a Joker moment where he's just in the mirror, putting the face paint on?
Yeah.
I would love all of that, Mason. No, I don't know.
I reckon they will.
Yeah.
I reckon he ends up in space at the end of the end of the second one.
Aquaman in space.
He ends up in space and then Lobo's there. Or he gets pulled out of the water in a tractor beam into a spaceship.
Yep.
And then Lobo's there and it's Jason Momoa and he's like, I got a big bounty on you.
Do you think that would be
From space for some reason.
confusing?
Yeah,
to people?
no, I don't care.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah, I would love that. And I hope it's true.
I'm not ruling it out.
Because this is the kind of thing, if it's true, people will be like, you're a genius that you think.
Right?
Yeah.
And everything else I say, people will forget
Yeah,
immediately.
if it doesn't happen, people will forget this. So it's fine, yeah.
Nobody's going to come back to me when they see the post-credits of Aquaman, The Lost Kingdom, and that doesn't happen and be like, you said it. You said he'd be abducted out of the water in a spaceship and then Lobo would be there. You said that.
You're right.
And it didn't happen. A different thing, a thing that would make sense happened instead, mostly.
We're not interested in that, though.
Yeah.
And neither is anybody else. Anyway, here's some TV shows that are coming out and or are out. The Last of Us. You watched the first one?
Not yet.
Really good.
You liked it?
Yeah.
Does it hew too close to the video game?
No,
or something?
I would say it hews extremely close, changes a few key things, and it expands on some narrative stuff. I even listened to the behind-the-scenes podcast of the people involved in it. That's how interested I was in it. Yeah. If you want a good zombie thing, and if you want a show where a dad looks after a little person, this is... Which is all shows and media.
It is,
now.
yeah, that's right.
But it's good. It's great. It's really good. Loki.
Maverick, you got to look after your dad while you fight off the.
No, Maverick's
you got to
dad
fight off
died.
the. Well, he's back.
Dadvrick.
Yeah.
They should make a Maverick people called Dadvrick.
Dadvrick's in the back. Dadvrick's in the back of your F-14. You got to fight the Soviets, and you also got to look after you. It's a prequel.
Okay, fine.
Yeah,
Okay,
but they're not going to DH Tom Cruise.
Nah, why would they? They don't really need to.
This is in between. This is set in between Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick.
Okay.
He's got to look after his ailing dad,
Dadvrick.
and he's in the back of the F-14, and he's like, you're useless. Like he's like, Dad, why didn't you? Oh, you weren't there for me, whatever. But then at the end, he fires all the missiles.
Yeah.
He's like, Dadvrick, you did it.
Dadvrick, I forgive you for spilling hot coffee all over the buttons in this. Because he's got a big thermos of hot coffee.
He's got a thermos and like a tartan blanket, and he's in the back. But in the end, he fires the missiles and he kills all those Afghanis or whatever.
Or whoever they're fighting.
Whoever, it doesn't matter. I don't care.
Dadvrick.
I love Dadvrick, yeah.
Then we got Loki season 2.
I'm excited for that.
Me too.
I'm going to rewatch Loki, but there's so much, so
busy.
little time. And
There'll be
so
a
many
recap.
things.
It's fine.
I'm going to rewatch Hawkeye. I'm going to rewatch Loki, I think.
It's also one of the only series that has like a greater impact on the MCU.
Well, that's true, yeah.
I guess WandaVision did too, but and probably others. Yellow Jackets is back. Severance is back. The Witcher is back. The Mandalorian is back. Party Down is back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stars. You're doing it again.
Gen V and probably The Boys are back. Doctor Who is back with old Doctor Who, their new Doctor Who.
New Doctor Who.
Sweet Tooth is back. I forgot they made that, but I enjoyed the first season.
Yeah, sure,
and
sure.
amazing they didn't cancel it. I guess Robert Downey Jr. produced it. Ironheart is coming and back. Secret Invasion is back and coming also. What If is coming back, but maybe delayed. And so is Agatha and Echo. But again, some of those are delayed, in addition to Ahsoka, which is also coming back or starting again. Most of these are back.
Most of the stuff is back.
Well, we don't know like new shows. We don't
That's
know
true.
what's going to be
in
good
this
necessarily.
environment currently. Any show that is coming back is astounding, I think,
I agree.
or coming at all, really.
I agree. Wow, that was way too long, and we've got more show. Let's wrap it up here, Mason.
Wrap it up.
And do you know what the next segment of the show is?
It's called What We Reading.
Yep.
What We Gonna Read.
Let's do it. Let's tell all our friends. I'm doing the thing. What are we reading today? Mason, well, you've had so much time off, you better have read a bunch of stuff.
I've read so much stuff.
Cool. Let's
I mean,
do
I've
one.
not read anything.
Let's do one.
A show we've both watched, I think,
Yeah.
is Fleischman is in Trouble.
I have not finished it yet, but yes, I'm very much enjoying
It's a
it.
good show for grown-ups that has no explosions or punching, really.
And if you want to be depressed.
if you're depressed.
Yeah.
But it's just it's a great cast, and it's,
Yeah.
very...
Good book too.
I think
By
I
all
read,
accounts.
I read the book many years ago,
Yeah.
but I forgot about it, which is good. So it's just about it's good. It's Jesse Eisenberg.
Yep.
And he's a newly divorced dad. He's loving it.
He's loving it.
But then one day, his wife Claire Danes, his
Yep.
ex-wife, leaves the kids with him for the weekend supposedly, and then she just never comes
And
back.
he says, "What's all this about?"
"What's all this about?" Right?
And then Fleischman, but which one of them is in trouble?
That's right.
Yeah, it's good.
It is good.
Last of Us I mentioned. It's just, I mean, when they were talking about like, this is actually better than any video game adaptation before because we've actually thought about it and everything they've ever been done around video games is terrible. I'm like, hold your fucking horses on all of that. Anyway.
Cool your jets, bro.
Anyways, it's great. It's actually really great.
Okay, that's good.
So
Okay,
they
great.
were right, I guess.
Yeah.
Not to say that there isn't other good video game stuff because there definitely is. But I also just read Maniac of New York, Don't Call It a Comeback.
So this is the third series.
It's back.
It's just the first episode, first issue is out, right?
Yeah, always consistently good. Just a lot of good fun
Okay,
times
great.
to be had from a murderer. And there's a twist on it, Mason.
Go on.
On them because in the previous one they thought it was the end of the Maniac of New York,
That's right.
but maybe the Maniac.
Is back, Manny
The
back.
Maniac is back.
The Maniac is Manny back? Okay, great.
That's right.
Okay, great, terrific.
Do you want to do the next segment of the show then?
I'll tell you what, if I may, James.
Oh, you can, I guess.
A comic book that I read. See, what is good about this is I watched a bunch of stuff, but next week I can be like, oh, I just watched this.
I just watched this just now.
I read an Image series called Rogue Sun, S-U-N. I don't know if you've heard about this
I'm
one.
going to punch it into my calendar.
It's by Ryan Parrott and rising star Abel, just says there, just one
Okay.
word. But it's I
you bought it
believe
before Comixology collapses in on itself?
I did, yes. So this is I believe it is in the same universe as the Radiant Black.
I was going to say, this
Universe?
looks like Radiant Black.
So Rogue Sun.
Do you need to read Radiant Black?
No, you don't. So it's set in New Orleans.
'Cause I haven't finished it,
And it is about New Orleans' premier superhero, Rogue Sun. So his son
Yeah.
he, learns that his distant father is in fact the superhero the superhero Rogue Sun, and he's been killed. So he now has to take on the
Dadrick.
role of Rogue. It's a real Dadrick situation, and it's interesting because this guy's kind of a jerk. He's like he's not the bully really of the school. He's like a teenage guy, but he's a guy who like blackmails the smart kids into getting him to do his homework and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, right.
So he's but it's fun and interesting. He's sort of a magic-based superhero.
Yeah,
he's got this sort of crystal that gives him the Rogue Sun powers. And there's an interesting issue. I think there's like 11 out right now. But there's like a choose your own adventure.
Oh, it's
issue.
more supernatural, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
he's a magic guy.
So
yeah.
there's an issue which I think worth the price of admission. Is sort of traps him in a universe of like a multiverse of endless possibility, and you sort of have to follow. You have to kind of choose your own adventure, and the only way to finish the issue is to keep your eyes peeled for a little clue to
get out of it.
To get
Do
out.
you
of
watch
it.
it digitally?
I read it digitally. Yeah.
Yeah, and so
That issue I think is probably better if you read it in.
I was going to say, because like, what's the format where you
Yeah,
have to
it's a
press me
nightmare.
to read that?
But anyway,
I literally just bought this as you were
oh
explaining.
great,
it.
yeah, no, check it out. It's very interesting, I think. Interesting universe, good supporting cast. Pretty cool little bit of a mystery. Who killed Rogue Son, the original Rogue Son?
Who did it?
I'm not going to tell you.
Can you tell me now?
No.
I'll just read it, I guess.
Yeah, I guess you could read it.
What's the next segment of the show?
The next segment is letters. And here they are.
Let's do it.
The classic one was
Letters, oh letters, we love you. Some letters, they're only a day away.
I know they're here right now. We're going to do letters. Two things.
Yep.
One, when I come over to your house and I search Weekly Planet letters theme in my phone, or I'm about to, it's the first result, even when I don't type anything. So does my phone know that I'm here and that every time I'm here, I play the letters
that you Google? It's the only thing
when I'm here. So does it know?
I guess.
Anyway, the second thing is the top comment here. It says, "It's so weird to listen to this with actual good sound quality and not the sound quality of Meso's phone running through another microphone."
Sounds good to me.
Sounds pretty good to me.
Mason, I'm just going to run through some stuff. I put in the Great Mates group. Is there anything you want us to talk about for the year, for the week? Because we took a month off, or not even. It was less than a month, Mason. It was less than a month.
Felt like a bloody million years.
Felt like a million years. But thanks for coming back, by the way, everybody. Really appreciate
that.
You
thought you were talking to me.
No. Okay. And there's just some things.
Jeez, wake me up when January ends.
He's not wrong, everybody. There's some things that people mentioned that we haven't mentioned as of yet. I thought we could quickly touch upon. Not all of these are comic book movie related. But here we go.
Just current event stuff.
Oh, I just want to say I appreciate all the memes and insults directed towards us on the Great Mates group, which just ran hot while we were away. Pictures of me as Trent from Daria. Pictures of me with a mustache. That's right, I sometimes have a mustache now.
He's got a mustache right now.
I know, I got to trim my beard down again, Mason.
So you can have a full mustache.
I think I'm just going to do a mustache for a bit. I don't know why. I think it's probably a bad idea. Everyone says I look older. But isn't that cool to look old?
It's cool to look old and like Tom Selleck.
Thank you.
I think.
Thank you. Anyway, here we go. Matthew P. says, Alec Baldwin.
He's been charged with manslaughter.
Yeah. Now, I don't know the specifics of the case. They must know something about that we don't, because I was under the impression, and all the information that we have is that somebody handed him a loaded gun.
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to him. But he's also a producer, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's responsible for the handling of firearms. But he's also said prior that he didn't pull the trigger. But it's also apparently very clear that he did pull the trigger. So I don't know.
And also,
but look into this, whatever's obviously happened.
Something that I read that he is being charged as an actor. I don't know if that's a legal distinction
or
as opposed to a producer or something like that.
Somebody needs to be in trouble for this.
Yeah, I mean, somebody does. Also, apparently, as I understand it, also, like, a lot of people got fired prior to this happening, like a lot of people who probably would have been involved in the safety issues and that sort of thing. And yeah, a lot of people said, again, I mean, more facts will emerge, but I think it's, a bizarre case.
Yeah.
Again, like
a lot of neglect.
And also on the one hand, like, I'm not sure actors are qualified to check a gun.
No.
And go, is this a prop gun? Is this a real gun? Is it loaded? Is it what happened?
How would he know necessarily?
If someone handed me a prop gun and said, okay, is this a real gun? I would open it and be like, I don't know if these are real bullets or blanks or they're prop bullets or they're just are these prop bullets for the camera and they don't work but they meant to look real? Like, I have no idea.
I mean, it also depends, I guess, also on because I don't think they were filming when it was. When it happened, okay. I think, again, I don't have all the information on this. So was he just playing around with it, and that's why he's being charged?
I also remember a while back they said something along the lines of some of the crew took out real guns to go shooting in the desert prior to that. And
yeah, exactly. It was just a bunch of shit that shouldn't have happened.
Katie, there's a Paul Scheer put up a thread about this.
Yeah,
like in terms of his experience with acting and props, and this one makes a lot of sense. Maybe I'll just pull out some. Little bits and pieces. But it says the assistant director examined the gun. He announced to the entire crew the gun is cold, meaning it's empty, or has dummy rounds which look like bullets, but are for close-up shots and don't fire when the trigger is pulled. He was probably told they were dummy bullets by the armourer.
Yeah.
The AD is the person responsible for the safety of everyone when a gun is firing blanks. Another level of safety and protocol is brought in. The two most famous incidents of gun deaths on set were accidents with
Brandon Lee
and probably another one. But yeah, the idea that the actor is also responsible because he should have checked the gun, he's a professional.
Yeah. I mean, unless they know something that we don't.
Yeah. Do NASCAR drivers change their own tires? They don't. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But again, devil's advocate, even if he did check the gun, he would look and see what he assumes are dummy bullets which don't fire. So I don't know. But unless he was in the room with the producers and they told him how the guns worked and they showed him and everything. I don't know.
Absolutely.
But anyway, we don't know. We don't know.
Anyway, that was one of the things.
Yeah.
Katie says, you should go and watch Plane. I really want to hear your opinions on it. I will watch Plane.
I'll also watch
probably
Plane.
watch it to streaming. But
Yeah, I'm not going to go to the movies
no,
for Plane.
but-
I'm not going to risk COVID.
No.
Go watch Plane.
Ian,
Sorry, Jerry Butler.
Sorry, Gerald Butler. Ian O says the Comixology clusterfuck. Yeah, apparently they laid off like 75% of their staff, maybe. Or Comixology is a fucking nightmare to access, and the way that it's all formatted on the website, it's terrible now.
And I read a thread on that on Twitter as well, which I won't read here because it takes a long time. But it was from one of the people who worked at Comixology, and they were like, "Look, a lot of people have been there for like 10 years, and they love it because it's like they love comics and they love working in comics, and a lot of people in the tech industry in that place move on all the time, but everybody there loved it, so they just stuck around, and now they're all gone." So,
and also, I think this is also a result of the tech industry is in trouble at the moment, and
like Fleischman.
Fleischman.
They're absolutely Fleischmaning it.
But because the profits aren't what they are expected to be or what they would like them to be, as opposed to the last couple of years, people are just getting fired left and right in all of these big tech companies.
That's true.
Yeah, so, that's fine and normal because that happens every 10 years or so, doesn't it? It's not fine is what I'm saying, Mason.
Oh, it sounded like you were being very serious and said it was fine.
Julia B says, the 90s show on Netflix and Scream 6 trailer. We talked about Scream 6, but that 90s show, I watched the first episode.
Could be about anything, though.
It's fine.
I didn't watch it.
It's fine.
Couldn't it be set in any time? It just looks like the present day show.
Yes. I mean, but it's set in the 90s, Mason.
Right,
It's set 20 years because they've all been aged 20 years or whatever since, Mason.
I mean, the two actors that remain from this.
I know, the other ones pop in every now and then as well.
Okay, right.
Yeah. But no, it's fine. It seems like it's kind of felt to me in the vein of like Fuller House, where it's like, this is the thing that you like, but with some new characters.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I haven't watched all of it. Okay. Here's one, Mason. Joe M says, Velma, interested to see their take. This is a shit show, and everybody seems to agree from all political spectrums that this show sucks. My authority on Scooby-Doo, because I don't watch anything
Scott
Scooby-Doo.
from
Scott from Nerd Sync, and he did a terrific video breakdown of it, talking about how, because I know people are talking about, it's too woke and whatever, and he's like, not really. It's just, not good. It's not particularly saying anything, and I like so many people involved in this, but it just, I wasn't going to watch it anyway. And I'm definitely not going to watch it now.
Yeah,
I don't care about Scooby-Doo at the best of times.
No, but apparently there's a lot of more recent Scooby-Doo shows that are actually quite good. So
exactly,
it's on binge over in Australia. But yeah, I'm not gonna watch it. Also, it's like the lowest rated piece of animation on IMDb or something.
Yeah,
like ever.
One thing I did enjoy from Scooby-Doo, if you go over to Joe Kappa's YouTube channel, there's something called Delicate Steve Scooby Snacks, which is a 1-minute animation. I'm not going to spoil it. You're not going to get jump scared or anything. It's just a weird, fun little thing.
Wow.
Which you should check
well,
out.
If we're going to recommend, Scooby-Doo related fun little things, I'm going to
just had the one.
Okay, well, I was going to recommend the fun-loving criminal song Scooby Snacks.
Very good. Which one has that go?
Running around, robbing banks, all whacked up on Scooby Snacks. Yeah. It's probably about drugs.
It's probably about weed, Mason.
Right? You think you rob a lot of banks on weed?
Yeah, I do.
Wow.
Kevin P says, we need a Blackbird episode. I looked for this. This is the Michael Flatley vanity piece.
That's where he's the world's greatest spy or whatever.
I want to talk about this.
Yeah, but it's unavailable?
It's unavailable.
It might be
might be forever.
Yeah, it might be one of those ones that
no, there's no release date.
That's incredible.
In the any time.
Because it's out and people have seen it.
It went to limited cinema
that's
release.
A shame.
But if we talked about it, I feel like
probably Michael Flatley's home cinema.
Yes. I feel like we'd either have to do a video on it, or other people, if we talked about it here, other people would have to have seen it.
Yeah.
So if I go to the movies and watch this thing, I don't know whether I could convey it without other people being able to see it.
That's probably true, yeah.
I want this to be available to everybody before we talk about it.
We want to crush the Lord of the Dance. We want as many people as possible.
That's right. Ashley N says, throw in Mark Hamill not returning to voice Joker. So yeah, he's pretty much confirmed that
without a Kevin Conroy to bounce off, he's not really interested. And that makes sense.
Good a time as any to stop doing it. So yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back at some point for something, but it seems for the foreseeable future, he's not going to be doing it, which, good for him.
Yeah.
Jake W. says, my sister started a new job at a nursery. That's pretty big, guys. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Is it babies or plants?
Or both.
Yeah.
Plant babies.
Plant babies?
Some sort of poison ivy situation.
Poison ivies?
Mm-hmm.
Jake, that was Jake. Darren T says, we didn't talk about this, MODOK's weird head in Ant-Man.
Oh, yeah.
Now, in the Ant-Man Quantumania trailer, we see MODOK.
Yes.
He's got a big metal face. And we were worried that it was going to be a big mask. But no, there's another image of the trailer, and it's just Darren Cross's stretched out face.
Like on a big TV, like on a big round TV.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We've got an upcoming episode of Book Club. It might even be the latest episode of BigSandwich.co where we talk about that and we're contemplating what they're going to do with it. But now we know. They have to do big face. I'm so glad they did big face.
Yeah.
Big,
it
ugly
doesn't look
face.
super great in that trailer, but we only really see it in the background.
Also, like, it's supposed to look awful.
Yeah, I guess.
And maybe this is their
That's true,
version
yeah.
of awful.
Do you think it is? Because it does look to me like it's a face on a screen, but surely it's his mutated head.
I assume so,
right?
yeah. I assume so.
Like the shrinking thing that happened to him, like made his body
Mushed him up all weird.
mushed him up and made his body really tiny, his head really big. I don't know,
I don't know either.
but in a way, he's very tiny because he's in the quantum.
He's in the
realm.
quantum realm, which is probably a small place. Mitch says Koala Man. I watched all the Koala Man.
What'd you think?
I liked it a lot. I liked how it's so specifically Australian.
Right. Okay.
And I think I enjoy that even for shows that aren't Australian, where it's like that's a very local deep cut to a thing.
And it runs the gamut of voice talent in the Australian comedian Demi
from
Lardner,
Hugh
who
Jackman
I know.
to Demi Lardner.
And Hugh Jackman is
Yeah.
also in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's obviously a shame what's going on with Justin Roiland at the moment.
Oh yeah.
And Boo, obviously. But
Yeah.
Koala Man is it's just terrific. And
Yeah.
if you know Darren and Damo from Michael Cusack's like YouTube channel,
Oh yeah.
I've always enjoyed those and whatever.
Some people are like, how's
set in Dapto, which is
Yeah.
a real place.
Some people are like, how's all the Rick and Morty franchise going to continue without Justin Roiland? I don't know anybody who can do a
It's
Rick
fine.
and Morty impression.
Or they'll just keep doing it. They've probably recorded most of the next season
That's
anyway
probably
for
true,
now.
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Tyler P says Logan Paul controversy. This is
which one is? Oh,
the rug pull.
Oh yeah, he
thing
had a
that he did.
crypto.
And then he tried to blame everybody else.
I was going to text you about that while you're on holiday, but I'm like, you probably don't need more Logan Paul in your life.
No, I
while
was
you're on
keeping-
holiday.
I was
Oh, you're
keeping up to
keeping
date with that.
So a YouTube channel called CoffeeZilla
Yep.
did an investigation into Logan Paul's crypto-based game.
Yep.
And found it was all very shady. And
Also,
then,
his second crypto rug pull.
interesting.
And the steps that he's made to make amends are good, but don't do enough to
Right.
like compensate all the people.
And he had
that
an
he's
apology of
obviously
sorts that was
screwed.
basically like, hey, it's not my fault. It's all the criminals I hired to
Yeah.
make this.
He's like, well, CoffeeZilla neglected to mention this is a criminal. That's your mate, you fucking idiot. What are you talking? The thing about that guy, which is so weird, is you don't need to scam. You're famous. You're doing WWE wrestling and music and boxing and you're a YouTube star and your podcast is huge. What the fuck are you doing?
Right.
I just think he's just one of those like psycho YouTube.
He has
like,
to keep it going.
guys.
He can't leave anything on the table. kind of
Yeah.
thing. Also,
And not like, I think all his empathy and everything is faked.
Yeah,
Like,
right,
I think he's just a sociopath.
yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. It's whenever anybody gets empathy training, it's not actually learning
Yeah.
to be empathetic.
If-
It's just learning to fake empathy.
I think there should be a road back for everybody, including this guy.
and including us.
Including us,
when we get
definitely.
cancelled for whatever we're doing.
And I think he will and he'll be fine and whatever. But if you film a dead body in a
That was him.
forest,
That wasn't Jake
That was
Paul.
him, yeah.
Oh, that was going to be my question. Which guy was the Japanese death forest? Or
But
whatever?
like, there's no point in my life where I would think that was fine. And I know he's apologized and made amends and whatever, but that's not, you're not normal if you do
yeah.
that.
Also, here's my question. What was the game?
With filming a dead body?
No, what was the game? The crypto
Oh,
game.
it's like
this
eggs
is a game
and
it's-
they grow
It's
into
a
a-
game and it's a fun game. Oh my God, it's so fun. What about it is?
Yeah.
Looks like you just put two animals together and they make another animal. That's not a game.
That's a game.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a spreadsheet.
It is a spreadsheet. But anyway, look, also, like, if it turns around from this and he just, like, exclusively does good things, even though he's, like, a sociopath.
Like he could give us
that's
$1 million.
fine. Yeah, but like, that's fine, too, you know? You don't have to be a good person at heart. If you're doing good things, your actions speak louder than what you are as a person, Mason.
Wow.
Is what I'm saying.
Wow, what would you say if Hitler did some charity?
Well, he'd have to do a lot of charity. And even then...
Oh, and then you'd forgive him.
No,
That's
even
interest-
then...
That's really interesting.
You jumped in. I already said even then, I don't think it would be okay, Mason.
Wow, so there isn't a road back for everybody.
No, there's not a road back for Adolf Hitler, Mason.
Wow.
Justin N says Mithrigan. We talked about. I do want to see it. James H says, pretty sure the final season of Rick and Morty ended over Christmas. Oh yeah, we just talked about that. And nah, it's too popular. And he's got other projects that are in the works and whatever. It's too much of an industry to kill. James with a Z S says memoriam episode for Little James. Maybe somebody didn't listen to the end.
Maybe somebody didn't finish the best of.
Amy,
Because we did one and we said he sucked.
that's right. Amy S says
Pissed on his grave.
Yeah, that's right. Amy S says versus episode featuring characters played by the same actors. Now we talked about this before the show, and I ran it by you. I wasn't sure how to
I
come.
said no.
He said no, but tell me what you think, people. I was not sure how to like versus. I feel like we've done so many of them. Maybe we've run out of steam and ideas, and we've
Maybe
explored
we should
every
quit,
avenue, etc. But what if we did one where people give us scenarios, we answer them, and then we put it into that popular ChatGPT thing?
Okay.
And see what, because I've already tested it.
See what the AI thinks.
I've tested a few, so maybe we'll try that
All right,
this year.
great.
Yeah, we'll see.
Or we'll just do a regular one.
Or we'll do a regular one.
We'll just think of it. But I do like characters played by the same actor.
Yeah,
think
me
that's
too.
very good.
That's a good
That's a
idea.
good
Yeah.
note. Somebody make a note of that.
Somebody make a note.
I can make a note
who's
because
not
my
us.
phone is literally in my hand, but I'm not going to.
Neil's already talked about with the Dungeons and Dragons. Dakota C says Suicide Squad kills the Justice League Battle Pass, so you might have seen that.
It's going to be a
leaked in
live
it.
service game, maybe in the style of
Yeah.
Avengers.
And which has just been stopped. They just stopped it. I'm
Yeah.
amazed it lasted as long as it did.
All right. So with the Avengers game, they're not going to release any more content, but also, what does that mean? They're shutting servers down. You can't play it after
I think
a certain amount of time?
it's like single player stuff is all fine, and
Okay.
if you buy it from now on, I think you just get everything.
Okay.
Which is what a game should be.
Terrific. I love it. Like a
but-
completed game, if you
Completed
will.
game, but what a fucking shit show that was. And I'm not surprised because it's Warner Brothers and they always do stuff like this. So hopefully it's only minimal, but who knows?
Yeah, I was so excited for just a single player game where you don't have to add loot or anything.
Well,
or,
you're an idiot.
Yeah, I know.
What did you think of?
Because I'm an idiot, you said.
I did. And Joe G says, "Did you see Puss in Boots: The Last Wish? It was awesome." I did, and it was awesome.
There you go.
It's great.
I'll catch it on VOD streaming.
VHS. Mason, have you got any letters, or should we wrap it up?
I got letters, James. I got letters out the wazoo. Let's
do it.
By that I mean I got 2 letters because I got room for 2 letters in my wazoo.
Okay.
This is from Philip.
Hello, Philip. Like the
Subject
screwdriver.
line. Yeah, that's right. That's his last name, like the screwdriver.
The drink.
Yeah. Yeah, like the drink. Yeah, brackets. Subject line, my wife doesn't believe in Tom Cruise.
What do you mean?
Hey there, James and Meso.
Hello.
My wife makes fun of me when I bring up how amazing the Mission Impossible stunts are. She thinks it's silly to believe Tom Cruise would actually put himself in danger.
Sorry.
After all, it could just be stunt people who do the big stunts. I've tried showing her behind-the-scenes videos, but she says that studios can fake anything with CGI and that Tom Cruise is the type of person to pay lots of money to create this fun narrative about himself.
I think there is definitely an element of pageantry to showing the behind-the-scenes
pageantry.
stuff of
Yeah,
him.
right.
But no, I think he does for real do a bunch of this stuff. In addition to that, you can present somebody sometimes with all the evidence in the world and they won't believe you.
That is true.
So maybe you should just let it go, is what I'm saying.
Wow.
And save your marriage. Don't let Tom Cruise destroy another marriage.
Well, I'm going to
This time
say
it's not his own.
I'm going to say use this to drive a wedge between yourself and your wife. Really, really dig in and just be like, you're wrong. Why are you calling me a liar? That's what you're doing here by saying Tom Cruise. You're saying I'm a liar because Tom Cruise is
When you disrespect Tom Cruise, you disrespect all of us, as
That's
in
right.
me and Tom Cruise.
That's right. The 2 Tom Cruise brothers. Tom and Philip Screwdriver.
The drink.
Yes. He says, I will continue to love the Mission Impossible movies, but I will forever live with small doubts as to if Tom Cruise is a liar.
Oh, wow.
And
He's
this-
got you
Yeah.
second-guessing yourself.
And the Scientology part of it all doesn't help.
That's true.
From Philip, yeah.
You're right there. I mean, it is possible that all this is fake.
Yeah.
No, you don't really know anything unless it's right in front of you, and even then, it's only your perception of anything that's currently
Because
happening.
what if Tom Cruise is just like, no, this is the acting.
Yeah.
This is all part of the acting
Yeah.
that I go on set and we do this fake stunt stuff, and then I go and I act in the world and I do interviews where I say, yeah, that stunt was pretty tough. That's all acting.
Yeah.
And none of it was real.
Exactly.
I'm just a head in a box.
I would be impressed.
Everything
by
else
that.
is blue screen and that. We get a guy in a suit, a blue suit.
I'm a box with a GoPro on it stuck in the top of a Segway.
That's right.
Yeah. I think that's it, though.
Yeah, I got one more email.
Oh, God, Mason, it's so long, this show. It's so long. I just want to eat
gonna
Red
be
Rooster.
worth it. This is going to be worth it, James. This is from Jordan.
I've got some tweets here I'm saving for next week, Mason.
Terrific.
That's
Well,
how long it is.
Well, I'll forget this by next week. So
Okay, great.
It's from Jordan.
Hello,
hey,
Jordan.
fellas. I have a note, a thanks, and a request.
Ooh.
The note, it's been nearly 9 years since I started listening to the pod and watching the YouTube channel.
Don't say that.
In that time, he's going to keep talking, this guy. He's not listening to you. In that time, I've gone from middle school to college to marriage to my first child, who I've affectionately named James Mason Weekly Planet Pod Johnson. The request is a special one. My cousin, someone so close to me, is practically a brother. He's getting married in April. He's also a massive fan of yours, and I can't think of a better wedding gift than you giving him a good old congrats, mate. His name is Chandler.
Chandler?
Chandler?
Like the Bing?
Like the Bing, like the search engine.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, congratulations, Chandler, from all of us over here at Weekly Planet
Broadcasting Network.
Broadcasting Network Screwdriver.
That's right. But we're actually going to go over to the Daily Wire for $50 million.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We're taking that money.
We're taking the money
that other people were too proud to take.
That's right. We're gonna gradually say that we got pushed too far to the right by the left.
We were talking about this before the show. Do you know how much fucking money we could make if we pivoted into that? That's where all the money is. That's where all the billionaires are.
I hope this gets played at the wedding.
There's no billionaires in this.
No, it's true.
God.
Yeah, because we're organic.
It's obviously
We're
all of these
organic,
organizations
James.
like Daily Wire, The Blaze, like Fox, even CNN and whatever. They're all funded by fucking billionaires. You know?
No, I don't know that.
You do know that,
do know
Mason.
that, yeah.
They're not like profitable for the most part. They can't be. You can't be giving someone $50 million and expect that they're going to equal that.
Exactly.
It's just not happening.
Oh, I make all my money from T-shirt sales. No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Yeah. Offensive T-shirt sales. Anyway.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Chandler, on your wedding.
Yes. It's too late in the episode, Mason.
Yeah, anyway. The thanks is pretty self-explanatory. Thanks for keeping the ship sailing, and thank you for all the years of shooting red-hot news into my rude places.
Oh.
I'm a filmmaker, so I've set my career goal squarely to make a movie relevant enough that you'll see it, and I'll be able to force my way onto your podcast to talk about it.
Damn, we'd love that.
So see you then, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see you then.
P.S. Have you guys talked about Bluey?
Yeah.
You haven't.
Yeah,
you
the show.
have.
We'll
You
talk
have.
about it.
We loved it.
Yes, it's good.
Anyway, thanks you, Jordan. What a bloody delight. This
What
has
a
been the whole
delight.
show. What a first episode back, James. Heck of a time.
Too long.
I think just long enough.
This is they
Barely
don't
long enough.
If you don't listen to these normally, they're not this long.
If you don't listen normally, they're even longer all the time.
No, they're about an hour and a half.
Anyway,
generally.
folks, thank you so much for listening. I hope I remember all of this. We really appreciate you listening and subscribing and liking the podcast and telling your friends about it and being in a car with your friends and making them listen to an episode and they're like, oh, I don't know about this.
This
but
is
then
not really
later,
for me.
but then later they try it on their own and they're like, this
Yeah,
is
they're
better
like-
when my friend is not in the
Yeah.
room
What was
asking me to approve this.
What was that podcast that you said that you recommended? I need something to
Well,
listen
I'm not
to.
telling you now. Good luck, idiots, you'll say. Another friendship ruined thanks to us, the Weekly Planet.
We've done it again.
But folks, we appreciate all those things, and we also appreciate you leaving a 5-star review on your podcast catcher of choice. James, do you have any there?
You know I do, Mason. I've got 2 red hot reviews right here, right now. This one is from Ara Alician, who says, still waiting for my month-bias advent calendar. I've been listening to the Weekly Planet since 2013. Why do people keep saying that?
Because it's been going
It's
for a long
not right.
time.
And never once
10 years ago.
No, that's not right. And never once complained until now. How dare Jimmy and Nikki introduce Monthbius without offering us an advent calendar to properly celebrate the occasion? Worst podcast ever. Respectfully, Ara. And this one is from J. Bobby Westside, who says, from your friendly neighborhood rock star. I've just said that because they spell it differently than we spell neighborhood, Mason, presumably. Hello, just wanted to write this review and say how much I love the show. I've been listening to the show for years and look forward to it every week. This is easily my favorite podcast, and I recommend it to all my friends. Can I please be the official friendly neighborhood rock star? If the podcast. I think
No,
he means
just kidding, yes.
of the podcast. They mean of the podcast.
Thank you, everybody, for your kind, delightful reviews.
That's just 5 stars and an app. Anybody can do it.
Very easy. Folks, if you want to get into contact with us, you can go to weeklyplanetpod@gmail, at Facebook, at Twitter, at Bandcamp. You can go to the Planet Broadcasting Great Mates Facebook group, or you can go to the Weekly Planet Pod subreddits and Discord. Let me think. Other things.
Other things?
Yeah, if you want to follow some people on social media, you can follow our friend Rob Collins, who edits this podcast, makes videos, does social media, does all sorts of stuff. He's at Raw Collins on Twitter. He's at The Weekly Planet on Twitter.
Ooh.
You can follow me. I'm Wikipedia Brown on Twitter. And Nick Maso on Instagram. James is Mr. Sunday Movies everywhere.
Ooh.
Here we go. If you want to support the show financially, James is technically being paid money to make those noises.
Ooh.
You can go to patreon.com/Mr. Sunday Movies. You can chuck in a buck or any amount you wouldn't miss, and that's
And if you're a billionaire, you want to sway a couple of boys.
you can give us $50 million. We'll take it.
Yeah.
We'll say anything you
We
want.
won't be ungrateful.
No.
We'll be very
We'll be
grateful.
ever so grateful. You can go to bigsandwich.co, sign up for $9 per month. You get all sorts of bonus podcasts, early videos, ad-free feed for the podcast, all kinds of stuff. Also, some people do occasionally ask because you need PayPal to sign up to bigsandwich.co. If you don't have PayPal, you don't want to get PayPal.
Yep.
If you sign up for $9 or more on the Patreon, which I guess you can do with a credit card or whatever,
Yep.
You get all the Big Sandwich bonus content anyway. So
It's all
there
linked
it is.
up.
That's right.
Yeah, cool.
We've got T-shirts on TeePublic. Just search for The Weekly Planet. Thank you to The Brute and The Basilisk and the Rackham for all our musical themes, even that one that isn't rude anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's the whole show. Next week, we're going to do a different thing.
Maybe
Probably review a movie or something.
Maybe Mithrigan, I don't know.
Ooh.
Maybe
Delightful.
not. I don't know. What day is it? Well, we're still in January.
We're still in January, it's true.
Yeah, maybe watch Babylon.
We might watch Babylon.
We won't watch Babylon.
Okay.
All right, thanks, everyone.
Grab that Shrek, everybody. We'll see you next year.
Don't do
Next
that,
week?
Mason. No, that'll be in February.
Okay.
You've revealed that too early.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you revealed that fun thing you've done in a video upcoming. All right, bye.
Bye.